Is this straight? Okay. Let me say to you a pleasant good morning, sir. How are you?
Morning, Mr. Champagne. Sorry I'm a bit late.
Yes, that's all right. That's all
I'm
right.
sorry I'm a bit late this morning, but I had a couple of little issues to handle this morning. Yeah, and I listened to you and Brother Peter on the way here. There were some interesting discussions. But what I want to ask you, Champagne, before we start our program this morning, what was really said, in the last couple hours on Robert's show, I heard so many irate callers calling concerning the disrespect. Is it for the Prime Minister, or I don't know?
For the Prime Minister? For the authorities of the country, for the law.
What was really said?
The law. People are upset based on the fact that the curfew and also the social distance, it has not been respected.
Okay.
And they were talking about that event that was down there on the old base down in Beaufort.
Yes, right.
Hundreds and hundreds of people.
Okay.
Most of them not wearing masks. Okay. So they were pissed off about it in the fact that where is the authorities?
Okay.
And they were not directing it to the Prime Minister. As always, the Prime Minister is the head of state.
Certainly.
He will get some flack. So, but they were asking, where is the law?
Yeah.
If a law has been passed, I mean, why has it not been upheld? You understand?
Tell me something, Champagne, in your humble opinion. I have my own ideas. What is your take on the whole matter?
You know, I think this is something that has happened. We have been bred into this thing from such a long time. People don't obey the law. They do as they please. And over the years, the authorities have just let it go by without enforcing anything. We have the police, yes, but if some law has been passed, the police don't do what they're supposed to do. And I love the police. Without the police, we don't have a society. But the people have been left to do as they please as often as they want.
Can I ask you a question, Champagne? The airstrip where the people took place is a stone throw away from the police station in Beaufort.
Yeah.
They should have known. Yeah.
Well,
from what you understand, how many people were there?
I'm hearing over
about
200. About a little over 200.
You see, honestly, Champagne, I listened to some people saying that, since they put a hold on the airstrip, the people have to dissipate their anger on the roads. I don't buy that nonsense.
My goodness.
Yeah, I don't buy that nonsense.
My goodness.
What they put on the airstrip?
Yeah, well, the construction that's going on with the airport. With the airport.
You see, what has happened, Champagne, I go to Beaufort once a week, and I go up north 3 times a week. And I have to say, these riders seem to be getting more stupid by the day. I mean, how can you tell me that you can be riding a motorcycle without a helmet, overtaking at corners, speeding? I'm asking a question. A normal ride from Castries to Rosalie should take 15 minutes because these people, they don't have to wait in line for traffic.
Right.
Now, I'm prepared to say, okay, fine, they can pass because it's a small motorcycle. But they don't have to go at the speed at which they're moving. And what they're not realizing, for every action, there's a reaction.
Yep.
These people have to be taken to the hospital. They have to occupy the bed space, the ICUs, for people who go there genuinely with a problem. And, you know, it's on and on and on and on. When will it stop? You know? To me, I've said over and over, the traffic department needs to get some extra guys, and I've made a suggestion, which I think, if they're listening, there are a number of young guys of age 18 to 20 who leave the college and the various schools that are quite intelligent. With their smartphones, they can employ those people for a couple of months, and they can stand at one end with a smartphone. They don't have to have what you call a speed gun. They can time it now. It can be done. And what you do, you give these people a percentage of the fines and start hauling these people in. Because if we don't stop it now, it will only get worse. I know for a fact, I have 2 friends, one from France and one from the United Kingdom. The guy from the United Kingdom stays in the south of the island for the last 18 years. I happen to be very close to the gentleman. And after 18 years, a place that they love, They're now looking to sell their home and return to the UK. And I asked the question, why? He said, Mr. Chancellor, Beaufort area where we lived was a peaceful area. Then motorcycle noises, because they take off the things on the exhaust.
They cut off some of the...
take it off, We cannot live here anymore. Nobody seems to be doing anything. That is one. That's in Beaufort. My other friend stays in the Rodney Bay area. They built an expensive home there. They've been there 17 years now. They also are thinking of leaving because they said they cannot sleep. Only in the last couple of weeks, because of the curfew, they get a bit more rest.
Is supposed to be out there on motorcycles as well. So guys misbehaving. I'm driving, going down Beaufort, you have about 6 guys have the front of their bikes up in the air. And if they go out of control, they come in right through your windscreen and kill you. Because not all of them is very good at keeping that front of that bike up. So I've seen guys go off the road doing that nonsense on the main roads.
I've seen it myself.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you misunderstood what I said. I didn't say...
No, I didn't say you said that.
No. But I know the public may get the wrong
yes, that's why I said it, yes.
But the first thing is the people who take those gadgets off the...
yes, the exhaust.
That's against the law. Because there's a law here for decibels, not the noise factor.
The noise,
okay?
Yes.
But as you say, the manpower is not there now.
No.
I'm suggesting to the government what they can do.
Yeah.
Get 15 to 20 young guys to work with the police.
Yeah.
Start it off, even though they do it on a Friday and a Saturday to begin with, and a Sunday, just for the weekends. And when I say haul those guys in, bring them to their senses. I actually have spoken to the police already, and one police officer took me down to the Marine Station.
Yeah.
And he said there are over 250 motorcycles that have already been seized. But as fast as they're seized, they come back again.
More keep coming in.
So something is wrong, Champagne, and we have to stop it because it is getting out of hand. I mean, when I listened for the last 2 days to many St. Lucians, they are really irate over what is going on. They are irate.
Anything on that, Brother Peter? Because
I want to know if there's a law to take the alcohol blood sample or the blood alcohol level of people who are in accidents, whether it's motorcycle or motor car, and then let the public know, because sometimes these guys do this with alcohol in their heads, and that makes it worse. And alcohol seems to be, like I would say, the drug of choice these days in St. Lucia, from what I'm seeing. You see people first thing in the morning, 5 o'clock, 4:30, 6.
Oh, yeah.
And there should be, I believe there's a law, but people the other day on the coronavirus were saying, why not engage the private labs? That is something the government can do, and let the private labs do it, and let the person who was in the accident pay the private labs.
Motorists on certain holidays, and I've noticed that because I work down at the airport. Before we had all of those motorcycle riders all around the island, you would have seen families going down on a nice little ride, taking a drive down to the south. You don't see that anymore. Motorists avoid the roads on holidays.
That's
all because of the riders.
Correct.
And listen to me, I know the riders are listening and they will be behind this program. I am not saying anything to have the riders not using our roads because they are our people as well. But I am saying to you, I have seen that motorist families, they avoid the roads on holidays because of hundreds of motorcycles, and they do not just ride in a disciplined manner. So, Michael, they pop those wheelies, they overtake in any corner at any speed.
Champagne, I've seen it myself. I was in Beaufort at the weekend, and I saw a guy riding on a strip alone, and he was so focused on speeding as though, I don't know what is going on in their heads, okay? But what I'm trying to also say, those going up there to Grocery or Rodney Bay, wherever they're going,
Yeah.
that's a 10-minute ride, okay? What is the rush?
Yeah.
But, you know, it's something I have seen, Champion, besides motorcycles, vehicles. I leave my home every morning, say at 9 o'clock, to go to my office. I go to the Mega J's roundabout. In that short space of time, I'm driving at 40 miles an hour. If 7 vehicles don't
Overtake you.
overtake me in
Yeah.
that day, not one take.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm asking myself, what is it all
What
about?
is the reason?
I had to call a certain organization a couple of days ago with a cement truck. The guy got so close to me, blowing off on a narrow road. Where are you going?
Yes,
And
yes,
with that speed,
yes.
wherever you're going to, it could be delivering cement, even though it takes you 10, 15 minutes more,
Yeah.
nothing is going to happen
Yeah,
to the
you
cement.
still have the load of
I
cement.
have warned the owners of those cement trucks already, and the police need to do something
Yeah.
about it, because these people are overtaken on a narrow road. Anyway,
So,
Michael-
Michael, as a businessman,
Sure.
what I would say is we need a motorcycle and car race track in St. Lucia.
Yeah.
That is probably where. Go and burn your energy there. Go and kill yourself there. But
Yeah.
that is for you. Take it on weekends. Take it Sundays, Saturdays. Make for them.
That would still not solve
Make it
the
a
problem.
new sport in St. Lucia.
That would still not solve the
Let
problem.
me-
They-
let
they-
me- you know, for every action, there's a reaction.
Yeah.
Because these things, they start off, but they encourage. I think, Champagne, I don't want to be, what's the word should I use? Overcritical of the St. Lucia Labour Party and other individuals who are just a civilized nation. Okay? Now, I say all of that, Champagne, because when people do things and you have radio hosts going out supporting them when they are quite wrong in what they have done, that is where it all starts. You know, I'll tell you something. Norbert has explained to the nation over and over that there's an organization called Reuters.
Yes.
Read the Reuters handbook.
Yes, handbook,
You know,
yeah.
there has to be a level of discipline.
Yeah.
Anything we do, you know, people look at people and criticize people. Oh, he has money, or he's this, or he's that. There. They don't realize where you are today is by discipline and hard work and dedication that you have put yourself in a position. You know, I speak for myself, okay? As a young guy growing up, came from very humble beginnings. My father was just, I keep saying it over and over, just a gentleman working at the customs,
yeah.
as a customs in charge of the customs.
Customs
okay?
controller, yeah.
I watched his modus operandi, and I wanted a slightly better life than what my father had. Not that he had a bad life, because
Yes.
he was a happy individual.
Yes.
But I took a decision what I want to do. There was a lot of effort, a lot of dedication where I am today.
Yeah.
Okay, a lot, Champion. You know, when people were partying on the weekend, I was working. I distinctly remember once, when I was at college, there was a football match at Marshall, and I belonged to the Abercrombie team, and I was going to do, I was an off-break bowler, and I looked forward so much to going to. And my father said to me that Saturday, look, I need you to do something important for me. I almost broke down in tears, but I had to forget the match
Yes.
and do what my father said.
Yes, yes.
But you know, that discipline started from a young guy,
Yes,
okay?
sir.
And I have no regrets what I have done. But this whole idea of give me, it doesn't work out in life, okay?
You think, Brother Peter, you think because some of our leaders, and when I say our leaders, I'm going to specify our parliamentarians, and particularly the opposition leader, you think it is because when they're out there in the House of Parliament exposing themselves to the behaviors that they expose themselves to, some of their supporters seeing them behaving in this manner, you think this is part of the of them
Definitely.
being indiscipline?
Definitely. Champion, look at me. I bring you the paper every.
Yes, every Wednesday,
right.
yes.
I look at the papers today, all right? The Prime Minister gives a speech, and then the opposition gives. I have never seen the opposition agree with what the Prime Minister said. Always
Yes.
if and a but and a negative side.
Yes, yes.
Now, the Labour Party represents almost 50% of the population. So they have a level of support.
You say
So
50%?
they believe what these guys are saying.
Yes, okay.
And that is where the nonsense.
Yeah.
Anyway,
That is why I asked the question. But let Mr. Brother
Sure,
Peter
sure.
answer the question if you have. You think this is as a result of them listening to their leaders and behaving in this manner?
Yeah, but Champagne, if you're talking to a certain mindset, it's important for you to know who they're speaking to, you know. They have a certain mind that they're trying to persuade. You must never forget that. And you must always remember, Maurice Bishop made that phrase very popular. People didn't like him for whatever reason, but sometimes you may not like a person, but if they say something that is true, you must never forget.
Yeah.
These are like yard fowls. We have to talk to people who want to fly, who want to soar, who want to make something of their lives, who are not always going to be scrounging on the ground. You understand the point I'm trying to make?
Yeah.
You have to remove your people from the lowest rung of the society, raise them up to middle class. But they insist on the Malay way.
Yes.
On the
poor
people,
yes.
yeah, cutting grass on the side of the road.
Yes.
With all the schooling you have done. You see the point I'm making?
So you could never fly.
And yes, you can never be better than them.
Yeah.
When you are a leader, you have to train people to be like you or better than you.
Yeah.
That is what leadership is about. As Sir Michael said a while ago, a minute ago, his father asked him to do something. He had a good cricket match to play, and he almost came to tears, but he did it.
Yeah.
Why? Because he wanted to raise himself up, and he realized afterwards, I'm sure, that his father was only trying to help.
That's right.
But if you don't have the kind of parents who direct you, what becomes of you when all you have to listen to is to the negative things that are coming from some of our friends on the other side?
Well, we have a serious problem. So, Michael, you want to start with your preamble? You want to, here's what we're going to do. If you have the projects, we're going to discuss the projects as opposed to reading it out. I don't know if you want to do that.
We'll leave that to the end.
Okay.
Yeah. What I want to say today, Champagne, is because of all what I heard, I had written my preamble, and I had to go over it and tweak it because of what I heard, okay? It made me think, Champagne, that the difference between what is the difference between constructive and destructive criticism? These are very strong words. Constructive and destructive criticism. Losers usually revert to destruction as they are unable to construct. And the discussion between Rick Wayne and Peter Josie on this Independence Day simply highlighted the unfortunate incidents which transpired between 74 and 82, 1974 and 1982. We should never lose sight that our banana industry was compromised by hate in an effort to dethrone John Compton by whatever means possible, based on his successful leadership. I witnessed what transpired personally, and I need no one to educate me on the months of rambling that took place prior to this event. Effective leaders usually become prime targets for the opposition, and today, the current Prime Minister falls within that spectrum. If for whatever reason the current PM was removed from the top position, it would automatically make the job of the opposition much easier. But this will not happen, as St. Lucians remain focused on the direction of the nation. The opposition continues to excel in the one area where they have scored 100%, and that is misinformation targeted to the Malawi, whom they have been able to manipulate for years. While the opposition focuses on petty issues to tease the Malawi, the current administration focuses on the bigger picture to overcome a pandemic which has virtually crippled the world. St. Lucia is indeed fortunate to have an administration that has the air of the IMF, World Bank, and CDB, where institutions of that caliber continue providing concessionary funds at a 0.75% for 40 years. What does it say of a former government having to rely on bonds raising from 4 to 7%, and more often the SLP in good times could not even raise sufficient bond funding, far less obtaining concessionary funding? The ongoing nonsense that millions of dollars have been squandered is a perfect example of an opposition completely out of touch with reality. We shall not attempt any further in addressing these false and senseless allegations, and this and will remain their modus operandi from now until tomorrow. Every time I hear the opposition demanding transparency, I cringe in shame when St. Lucians have witnessed for themselves umpteen occasions when the SLP blatantly undermined the nation both socially and economically. The direction of the opposition reminds me of a ship in the middle of the ocean without a compass. One day, they say, close the borders. Another day, they say, open the borders. Another day, they say, bring our nationals home. Another day, stop bringing in visitors. And on another day, give the people money and stop all projects. Another day, they encourage citizens to take the malady, On another day, they encourage citizens to take the vaccine. They say that the vaccine has not been thoroughly tested. The poor Malawi remain confused by all these uncertainties. The 7,000 tourism workers who are back at work, should they be sent home and bring about the demise of the nation's economy? It appears so, as they remain as sinister and careless as hell. St. Lucia is on a sustained course by an administration that understands the predicament of the world, and like all first world countries, St. Lucia will find its place at the top of the ladder by October 2021, when the back of the pandemic will be broken. I want St. Lucia to listen. I didn't say the pandemic will be over. The back will be broken, and it will be a lot easier to do business. The major financial institutions which continue assisting various developing nations are fully aware that assistance is paramount. Have we not witnessed Mr. Biden's request for $1.9 trillion in loans to assist the mighty United States? In the midst of a pandemic, to attract additional flights from areas like Dallas and New York, the reason is clear. The U.S. travel agents have recognized the forward thinking of St. Lucia as their COVID cases are on a decline based on the effects of the vaccine and the President's insistence of mask wearing. The return of our tourism industry augurs well, not only for hotel employees and tour operators, but for our farmers. A recent contribution by one of our ministers highlighted the fact that the poultry suppliers were unable to dispose of their egg production. Why? The restaurants catering to the hundreds of visitors simply did not have the clientele to consume the breakfasts they prepared. At this time, the reality of keeping our borders open and concentrating on our tourism product is important. To update the nation on the ongoing development, I have a number of photos taken, but I shall deal with this at the end of our program. This is my preamble.
Yes, sir. All right, thank you, Sir Michael. And before I turn over to Brother Peter Josie, you said something there, to tease the Malawi. in one of your lines there, the SLP,
Yeah.
they tease the Malawi. So what that means is, from my own analogy, is they say things to make it seem good.
Correct.
For the Malawi. So they tease
to get
them.
a reaction.
Yes, we're going to give money when we come in. We're going to do this. We're going to do that, and then it never happens. Over to you, Brother Peter, in your preamble this morning.
I just want to say very simply, Champagne, that after the celebration of 42 years of independence, and bearing in mind the elections that we must have towards the end of this year, I think it might be opportune, it's not too early, for the Labour Party to start putting out bits and pieces of their manifesto, especially the things that they have commented on and may have criticized the government on. It is time for the people of St. Lucia and for the Labour Party to let the people of St. Lucia know what they're going to do about agriculture and fisheries, to start with food production. Okay, because if we have tourism, which they say the government has been pushing, and it is true, but the government has always also been assisting farmers to produce for the tourist industry. What is the Labour Party prepared to do to assist farmers? Which crops they are going to encourage farmers to plant? And for the fisheries sector, are they going to introduce larger boats? What are they going to do to help the fishermen? Are they going to have more fishing depots around the island? I think it is time that people who are supporting the country, and I don't care whether they are UWP or Labour, and especially Labour people, should want to know, because that could be their campaign tool. Okay? You guys have not done sufficient for agriculture because you all should have done A, B, C. If the Labour Party is campaigning seriously, their people should start talking. When they call the radio, instead of talking foolishness about Alan Shastney and all the rubbish in their rubbish minds, you know, the undeveloped mind. Long time we used to joke, fellas, and say, your bon-père stepped on your head last night, that's why you're so stupid, you're not hearing. You know what that phrase is, right? Bon père a pilé tête.
Yeah.
So if these guys want to shake themselves up and begin to address the concerns of St. Lucia in a serious way, I would humbly suggest, and suggest strongly, that they begin to discuss, if they have not done so yet, and put out a statement or manifesto statement on agriculture. Take the lead. You have been campaigning for the last 4.5 years. Show the people that you are prepared for elections. Put out the first section of your manifesto on agriculture, fisheries, and maybe the other productive sectors of the island. So that is the first and most important thing I want to say. And the other thing I want to say is, we have also, as a government this time, as the United Workers' Party, begin to think seriously of how we can address the youth, not only in work, but in discipline. Something has to be done. The motorcycle business that Sir Michael spoke about, the drivers on the road, blood alcohol level, that is a statement the Prime Minister and the government can make almost immediately. From now on, every time I look at my television news at night, I see reported the number of calls the fire people had to make, the number of accidents, etc., etc., etc. We have to accompany these reports with reports on the alcohol blood level of those people who are getting into the accident. It is important for us to get the source of the accident. Okay? The stupidity. Why was this guy riding that way? Who taught him to do that? And I think the people themselves who are getting into accident, once they don't die, they should be questioned, and questioned in a way for people to understand, young people especially, to understand what is it that has motivated these people. I am hearing about 2 motorcycles riding in opposite directions, getting into accidents, knocking each other as if they're... What is the width of a motorcycle? The road has 2 class sides. Even when it's not written in, there's no white line. You have to drive on your left at all times. That is how we do it in St. Lucia. Yeah. How can 2 motorcycles collide? I'm missing this completely. Yeah. So these 2 things, the youth, the discipline, the program for the youth development, and I'm not talking about work only, work is important, but even work without discipline, without having some future idea of what you would do with the money that you earn, would be useless. It's no point in taking the money and go and drink alcohol and doing nonsense with yourself, buying a motorcycle to kill yourself.
Yeah.
And the second point is that both the Labour Party, I would suggest for the Labour Party, you have criticized so much on agriculture, put something out so that the people can start discussing it, so that you'll have something negative, stop the negativity, and have something positive to sell to the young people and to the people of St. Lucia generally.
Yeah, well, so, Brother Peter, you are such a different individual from me. It is as if you're saying to the Labour Party that put something out there, or you're giving them an alert. But I'll say something to you. Have it occurred to you that the Labour Party may not have any plans? Have you ever thought of that? After
They may not have any champagne,
Yes.
but come on. What I said was the election is going to be in 6 months' time.
Yes, but-
so they must be thinking, my goodness.
But 4.5 years, Brother Peter, we've heard it. For 4.5 years, all we have heard is the criticism. Have it occurred to you, and I'm sure it has occurred to you, and a lot of solutions, that these guys have nothing that they could produce? There's no proposal.
I'm also saying to you, my brother, they have never produced anything positive. But it's not too late, because elections are coming. They would want to win the elections or try to win it. So I'm saying to them, as a St. Lucian, I'm saying to them that it is time they put out something positive about agriculture and fisheries if they want to leave the negativity behind, because the people they have speaking on their behalf on radio should have a more positive agenda trying to sell to the people of St. Lucia. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, well, and I respect that, but for me, I would not even advise these guys after 4.5 years. Seriously. So, Michael, let me ask you this. After 4.5 years, listening to an opposition, you as an ordinary citizen, I'm not even putting you in the business aspect or political aspect, I'm putting you as a layman, an ordinary individual, listening to criticism after criticism for 4.5 years. In 3 months' time, these guys may have some manifesto. Would you be interested in reading it? After 4.5 years of criticism of all what the government did or tried to do with the coronavirus, the help, what they did, the assistance, and they put out a manifesto in 2 months' time or 3 months' time, would you be you may read it, but are you going to be very interested in reading it?
I'd be interested to see what they have to say. But if I have to make a prediction, if I have to go by what they've been preaching,
Yes,
it's only been negativity.
exactly.
These guys have never once and said, you mean to tell me for the 4 years that the Prime Minister has been in, he hasn't done anything that's
Yes,
good?
yes,
Nothing at all?
yes,
Right?
yes.
Secondly, they drive around St. Lucia, they have eyes, they can see. Even though they don't want to admit it openly.
Yeah.
But within themselves, could they not say, well, look at me. The road program they have done has some good qualities. The bridges that they're working on, especially the one in Cul-de-sac, which is going to be one of the most, so I would say,
Expensive.
exciting
and,
bridges
yes,
that we've
yes,
ever seen,
and
based
well
on the
built.
difficulty we have,
Yeah.
where we have thousands of acres of land in a flat area that's open to flooding. Again, Champagne, I am a prime victim of what happened in the cul-de-sac. It cost millions of dollars without flooding. We had just finished a brand new supermarket worth over $3 million, in physical assets and contents, generators that worth thousands of dollars, all underwater.
All lost, yeah.
Containers floating, okay? And you mean to tell me that the ordinary man, have I ever heard a member of the Labour Party discuss what action is going to be taken in a case like that? Do they feel 1,000 lashes on another man's back? It's not only Michael Chasney, but all the other people in the area. that lost tons of money, okay? So, when you see a government who has not forgotten those incidents and bringing in the right formula to address a problem like that, there has to be a level of respect.
Definitely.
Now, you asked me a question about the
Yes.
labor.
Are you going to be very interested?
So, and if I have to go by what they've been talking all the time, I see nothing tangible
Yes.
coming to the table.
Even if
And people have to be cautious. But to stray away slightly from what you asked me, having listened to Peter Josie and Rick Wayne of what transpired within the Labour Party itself, the self-destruction that took place, fighting among themselves, and it's no different today, Champagne.
Yes.
It is
It
no
is
different
no
today.
different. No
We
different.
know what's going on in the Labour Party.
Yeah.
The Labour Party is split three ways. Three ways. So, you know, how can you tell me you can consider a party going in to run an administration under those conditions?
No, you can't even think about it.
What they're relying on today is the nonsense they've been putting out,
Yes.
and they get a few senseless persons to repeat it. Champagne, let me tell you something to you. Yesterday, I got a message from a personal friend of mine in the South who said to me, I just heard from a friend that Guy Joseph took $368 million and he cannot account for it.
My goodness.
So I'll tell you something, I'm going to read to you.
368 million?
Yeah.
Where he got that from?
Listen to me. I'm going to read something to you. Go ahead talking still.
Yeah.
Well, Champagne,
let me.
hold on. I said this about the manifesto deliberately. I thought your reply to me would have been,
Yeah.
because we are speaking and I have to provoke thought.
Right. And
I thought what you were going to say to me, but
Yeah.
Brother Peter, if they did not do anything in the last 5 years they were there,
right.
after they had put out the manifesto, how can I have confidence that this term, if they give them a chance, would be any different?
Yes.
That is what I expected you to answer.
Well said. I like the way you turned it around.
Thank
Let me
you.
ask you, if you're a police officer, a middle-class individual in St. Lucia, and you've seen what's happening in the last 4.5 years, I'm asking the same question, but in a different context. You're a police officer, you're planning to build your home, purchase a piece of property, build your home. And these guys, based on all of what they have done throughout the last 4.5 years, always criticize trying to take St. Lucia down. Would you support these people? Or vote for them?
I would not. I would not.
Under
Peter,
what basis would you not
you know
vote for
something,
them?
Champagne?
Let me, 1 second, sir, Michael, sorry.
Yeah.
Under what basis would you not vote for them?
Because they have made everybody's work more difficult, including starting from the nurses, the fire brigade people, the fire engine
Yes.
people, the ordinary policemen. They have made the Labour Party, because of the nonsense they did with the coronavirus, okay? Not supporting, pretending that it does not exist, having a march, when the virus was still big, you know,
in the peak.
in the air. They have made the job of every government officer
At its peak, the virus.
worse, harder. And because of that, certain civil servants had to work at home. It may be easier for them to work at home. But they have made the whole, even today, we are still under curfew because of the behavior of the St. Lucia Labour Party.
And there's no getting away from
We
that.
have to call a spade,
Yes, sir.
man, you know.
Yes, sir.
We have to call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
And now, you know, what infuriates me, what irks me sometimes, is that all of a sudden, the Labour Party is pretending that they're more interested
Yes.
in the virus,
They
the
have-
vaccine, and they love their fellow man so much.
Yeah.
Let the frontline workers get the
Get it
vaccine
first.
before.
Yeah.
All of
Yeah.
a sudden,
Yeah,
Shasta should have asked friends to give him the vaccine earlier.
Yeah.
Why didn't he do like Barbados? And all of a sudden,
All the solutions
you all
they
didn't
have.
believe there was thing. You all made your people, some of the foolish ones who listen to you, believe there was no coronavirus. Those same people become affected. So all of a sudden, you discover, you know something? This thing may be true, you know. So we have now to pretend
Yes.
that we are more interested in the vaccine than Alan
Than the
Shasley
government
and the
itself.
government.
Yeah, they have tried to reverse the situation.
Gasa Champagne, you can say no.
Yeah.
We are so stupid as St. Lucians
Yeah, we will
that
listen
we
to
will
them.
follow the nonsense the Labour Party is doing right now, pretending that they are more interested
Yeah.
in the vaccine to getting St. Lucians okay again than the government that has been working hard from day one.
Blood
Come
is
on,
listen to
guys.
me, and I may be taken to task for that. Blood is on the hands of the SLP because of that match. And I leave it right there. You wanted to say something, Sir Michael, about the...
I have two things to say. I just got a text. A caller talks about threat of grenades in Parliament, calls on government to take action on keeping it real. You know, anyway, that's one part. The other one, which I want to mention to you, Champagne, is, just a second. Everybody. Yeah. I got this WhatsApp yesterday from a friend. It read, I am being told that Guy Joseph took $380 million destined for the needy of St. Lucia to build roads, given the contracts to friends. Help me put these laborites in their place. Okay? And someone responded to him prior to my saying, pure garbage, which is not worth responding to.
Yeah, I see that.
Don't even waste your breath. Any half-baked intelligent person would realize in the twinkle of an eye that this statement is made for morons. Remember my analogy between a Barbadian and St. Lucian. At this time, I say no more.
Yeah, this in my mind is not even worth repeating.
You see, it is often said that when you talk to a Barbadian and you tell him something, he says, give me the proof.
Yeah.
But morons just react.
They just accept anything they hear.
You see, and what is happening now, Champagne, is the fact that these fellows are running scared. They see a government standing a good opportunity of getting into power, and they cannot accept the fact that there'll be another 5 years in the wilderness. If this regime has to spend another 5 years out of office, what is going to happen? The St. Lucia Labour Party as a party will remain, but the players will be changed.
Oh yeah, there's a few of them that will be...
There'll be a serious change.
That will be in exile,
and those who have been grappling onto a straw find themselves at the short end.
Oh yeah, that is for sure.
There's something that needs to be said very quickly about Guy Joseph. 25 years ago, when Guy Joseph was a young guy outside of politics, working hard in the transportation business, Guy, from his own words, had about a dozen vehicles already. I have known this guy because Forestier is a place, it used to be part of the district in which I work as a young agriculturist. You know, called Forestier, Babuno, all of these areas, right? And at that time, for those who want to know the recent history of St. Lucian politics, Guy was a supporter and follower of the St. Lucia Labour Party.
Yeah, he said it several times.
But he's also a man of prayers. So like me, Guy never told me that. I don't know when last I had a face-to-face meeting with Guy. But any man of prayer, Champagne, if you are sincere, you cannot stay there. You cannot. You just cannot. How can you abide by the kind of things that you're telling people there's no coronavirus when you know that there is and exposing your own supporters to death? What kind of party, what kind of people would do that? So they are mad against Guy Joseph, and I still believe, when I was growing up, this coolie thing about, the Indians are misers, they would eat a roti leaf, a lettuce leaf in a roti, and they're happy for the day. Yeah, but if they're misers and they can save, why don't you try to copy them? Why do you have it against them or hold it against them?
Yeah, that's not us.
Let me say something. Guy Joseph is born with a lot of common sense. A lot of common sense. The guy, Guy Joseph, as Peter says, from a young gentleman, was able to have his own little business. And you know, having a small business and a big business, the only difference is size. The concept is the same. The gentleman knows how to manage money, okay? I've listened to himself and his wife, in particular his wife, and I do believe the lady. This gentleman works extremely hard for his constituency, okay? You go there and see what the man has done in Forest.
Oh my goodness.
It is remarkable, okay? It is remarkable because Guy Joseph knows how to start something and how to finish it.
That's the good point.
So Michael,
Finish.
Guy Joseph,
You can start, but
Yes.
finishing is the key.
Correct.
Guy Joseph has been on the attack because of his. We might have to put it up. That's Mike.
You mean they have been attacking him?
He have been on the attack because they have been attacking him for all those time because of how he speaks. He expresses himself.
He has been
he's,
under
he's
attack.
unafraid. He's been under attack. He's unafraid. He's not afraid of the SLP. The SLP loves people that are keeping back, holding themselves in a corner.
yeah.
But if you're out there and you're outspoken, they will attack you.
But
and
that's
say
what all,
any kind
all
of thing.
bullies do that, you
That's
know.
what they
If
do.
you appear to be a coward, bullies attack you, you know, as a coward. When you look as if you know where you're going and you're going about your business in a confident way, people don't attack you. You know that, champion.
Have you heard, and I'm going to put you on a limb here right now, have you heard any one of the talk show hosts anywhere attack the Honorable Stevenson King in the last few years?
No,
Have
but,
you heard
no, but I must also tell you, I must also tell you, and that is something I have to tell Norbert as well. The callers say they heard that and that and that. Between me and you, I think I've said so here, I don't listen to these other guys. There's nothing they can tell me,
No,
Champagne.
no, the
I
expectation
don't want to
is-
sound arrogant.
I know.
There's nothing these guys can teach me or tell me. So I know they would not attack Stevenson King
Right.
because Stevenson King knows what he's about. He has been there long.
Exactly.
I call him the George Mallet of this government.
That's right. But then Stevenson King is not always out there in a forum speaking on behalf of anything.
right,
but
right.
he is the guy that knows what he's about.
Right.
Guy Joseph, on the other hand,
He's
in
more
the
open.
House, is
Guy
more
is more
open.
attacking,
He's
yeah,
more
yeah.
on the attack.
Yeah.
So they will respond to Guy Joseph
Yeah.
and make all kinds of allegations, all kinds of propaganda will be spewed out there of Guy Joseph.
And guess what?
Just
Guess
like
what?
yourself.
Guess what? None of them can conquer Guy Joseph.
No.
None.
No.
None. And,
Okay.
and because Guy has more money than them, obviously, Guy is smarter than them. Guy is not ashamed to work with his hands. And that is part of the problem we have. These guys who are talking all the nonsense on the radio, they don't work with their hands. They don't work as such. They don't sweat. All they try to do is to use their brains in an air-conditioned place to try to confuse people and to get money wherever they can, you know?
The SLP, they don't talk about Sarah Flood Bowburn, the Honorable Sarah Flood Bowburn. The SLP wants you to stay quiet, don't say anything, and in that regard, they leave you alone. If you're out there,
They'll undermine you quietly.
Yes, quietly.
They don't leave you alone. They undermine you quietly.
Thank you very
But
much.
if you attack them openly, they'll never stop responding. So my medicine for them, and remember I was in the belly of the beast. I've said so over and over.
Yeah.
The remedy for this thing, they attack you with a little 303 rifle. You come with a intercontinental bazooka.
Yeah.
You understand? They attack you in words for an hour. You attack them in words for 2 hours.
Yeah. They
Okay.
will never stop the attack on Guy Joseph. They will never stop the attack on me. They will never stop the attack on you, Sir Michael, because we are the ones that are vocal. We are the ones that speak. Those that stay quiet, like you said, they will undermine them quietly.
But guess what? You must not let that phase you. I don't listen to them.
No, you're
But
right.
that can never stop me because you know something?
Yeah, exactly.
You know something? I can say it is because of the work that George and I did to try to bring the Labour Party up after George Charles and things, so you know,
Anyway, let
that
me
it
go
is
to...
still in existence.
Yeah. Let me go to see you, Sir Michael. Yesterday, I was watching the political leader of the SLP, the opposition leader, and he continues to talk about the people are suffering. This has become their theme. The people are suffering. The people are suffering. So what it seemed like, it is because of the coronavirus now that there's no money to be given, and the Prime Minister said that You know, over $100 and something million have been spent to assist St. Lucia with the
And he's still
coronavirus.
looking for more money
And
for
he's
them.
still trying to find more. But they continue to speak about the suffering of the people of St. Lucia. What do you say on that? Is this a tragedy to try to get to the people?
You drive around, St. Lucia, yeah. And let me say something to you, Champagne. In the world, you will have rich people, you'll have medium people, and you'll have poor people. Poverty has always existed and will continue to exist.
Yes.
That is who we are, okay?
Not only in St. Lucia.
Not only,
Everywhere.
all over the world.
Yes, sir.
All over the world, okay? But these people making it believe in St. Lucia it's a crime to be poor. What is poor? Try and describe poverty. Poverty is who you are, what you make out of it. You know? Let me tell you something.
Well, they would say if you're not given an opportunity, you don't get out.
You have to create opportunities for yourself, okay? But when you spoil people, you have children. Think of children.
Giving,
They're wealthy
gimme.
people. How many wealthy people you know, but I know, who have been handed tons of money and end up broke because they can't manage it.
That's right.
You have to teach a man how to fish.
Yes.
Don't continue to give him fish. And that is the drawback of the St. Lucia Labour Party. They keep the people in ignorance so the people will forever be coming to them for whatever it is, you know. And but the thing is this, unfortunately, Champagne, that there are many people who love to hear what the St. Lucia Labour Party is saying. I'll give you an example, a prime example. I went over the weekend to visit many projects in St. Lucia. I drove on the Saltibus Road, which is tremendous what they have done.
Yeah.
I took a picture of some lovely homes, and I took pictures of some less lovely homes. I had an engagement with a gentleman who came out, and I said to him, "Are you happy with the road that has been put in?" He said, "Yes." And his wife often said, "But I want you to give me a car."
A car?
Yeah, that's what she said to me. "I want you to give me a car." So I said to her, "All right, if I gave you a car under your present conditions, would you be able to maintain a car?" There's a cost. You have to license the car. You have the insurance.
Register.
Oh, well, I didn't think about that. Now, her husband then came to me and said, "Look, I need some help from government." I said, "What kind of help do you want?" He says, "Look," he brought some nuts. He said, "I roasted it, I made castor oil, and I also make guava jelly." So he brought a bottle. I said, "How much for that jelly?" He said, $15. I bought the bottle of jelly for him for $15, guava jelly. I said, "Now come close to me, let me show you something. There's nothing wrong with the bottle. The cap is all rusty, and you have a little piece of paper stuck on it saying guava jelly. I will make sure I come back with a bottle and a new cover, and I will have my secretary make a nice label for you with your telephone number, and that's one way you can sell yourself." I then posed the question to him. I said, "Are you aware that 10 minutes away from where you live, that Massey has a new supermarket, and I can tell you for a fact, Massey supports local people?" He said he was not even aware of it.
You are not even aware
Can you
there's a
imagine
Massey.
that? 10 minutes from where he lives, down the road, he hasn't even gone to see that. But you see, there is a situation where people don't want to help themselves at all. You already can make a product, okay? Do these things. Let me tell you something, Champagne. 30 years ago, a tailor was introduced to me. This guy used to work at the prisons making clothes. And he made a couple slacks for me. Incredible workmanship. And I said to him, "Look, in your spare time, you need to promote yourself. I have sent so many customs to this guy, right? Right now, he cannot even handle the work
Yeah.
that he does, okay? He had some problem with his sight. I sent him to a doctor to get a pair of glasses. But 15 years ago, 20 years ago, I was living in Puerto Rico, and I came, and since then, he was making these clothes. And I said to him, you make such good clothes. I made for him 1,000 tags, because he used to work at the Border Correctional Center, and he was doing it on the side. And I put on it, damn it, excuse me, just turn that off. Turn that off. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, and I made those tags for him, and I explained to him that when you buy clothing and it's a brand name, people pay more for it. And I made those tags, hark on it, BCC, which was Border Correctional Center. Nobody knows what that means.
Okay.
It was just a brand. And I had him to sew it on the clothes, And I introduced him to some other friends. This guy does not even have enough time to make clothes now. He really needs somebody else to help him now. So, these are, and the Labour Party, these are the kind of things, if they really wanted to help the Malawi, a few of them would spend a couple hours by telling them these little things, but not sowing seeds of deception. When you keep telling a man all the time, oh, the government doesn't like you, I mean, that is nonsense.
Let me put...
just one more thing, okay? And he said to me before I left, he says, oh, look at another part, the government is hurting us because I can't make my charcoal. I said, my brother,
My goodness.
nobody is stopping making charcoal. But can you make charcoal next to somebody's home? That's all the government is telling you.
What he said when
but
you
what
asked
he told me? They didn't tell it to him like that. They just told him that he cannot make charcoal anymore.
Now, he could be right. He may be right, because if he's not out there trying to get the information for himself, he wouldn't know.
Yeah.
And maybe the neighbors might not even tell him.
Yeah.
But like you said, we are supposed to go out there and get the relative information from the relative sources.
Correct.
We need to be informed.
But poverty is people who are poor usually do not have information, or correct information.
That is true.
You know that?
And they take advantage of them.
Yeah, sure.
Let me go to you, Brother Peter, regarding the Malawi aspect. And I want to put you on the spot this morning because the areas of Beaufort, Shantytown, Shine Drive, and Bakade and these areas, it is said that during your tenure that you were the one that had asked most of the people to occupy that place. Is that a fact?
To occupy where?
The Shantytown area, the lands there.
In Shantytown?
In Shantytown and some of the, I don't know, I'm just saying, I'm asking you because you're the right person.
No, we shifted the people from Shine Drive
Shine Drive.
to just north of the square.
Right.
And we built some little homes for them there because we wanted the road.
Right.
And after that, they were supposed to be relocated at O'Shea, opposite the
Cantonment.
cantonment by,
yes.
by it's going towards O'Shea, by where the hospital.
So Shantytown area is not you? You had nothing to do
No,
with
but Shantytown area, I always felt that it should be redeveloped for
it?
the
Now,
people.
that's where I'm coming. That's
Yeah.
where I'm coming. And I didn't want to put, I hope I'm not putting you
You
on the
can't
spot.
put me on the spot
Okay,
because
beautiful.
I operate on principle.
Okay, beautiful. So we're talking about the Malawi. When you see the way the people live down there, and I'm not coming down on the people. The people have their way of living, that is them. But when you see the homes that are built down in Shantytown, people I've seen tarpaulin on some buildings there as the roof. And if you're talking about Malawi, this representative for Beaufort South and the Shine Drive area, the back of the Shantytown, this man never saw it fit to at least construct some form of housing in the Shantytown area?
Let me put it this way to you, Champagne. I represented Beaufort on at least 2 occasions. I was in opposition, and I did my best to open up the Mang, especially
Yes, they
because
told me that.
I was born at Latuni, Deamon, but I grew up in Beaufort because my grandmother lived at there, and we had land and family. We still do, actually. So I grew up just on the Cloud's Nest, where Cloud's Nest used to be. Ours used to be the last house, or if you want, the first from New Dock Road, if you're on Anstrafel Lane.
So that would be the top of Shantytown.
That's correct.
Yeah, yes.
Okay? So I had to go down, pass through the Mang and Shantytown, so to speak, almost every day going to Latuni for milk. So that area is an area I know better than most Beaufortians who are alive today. You understand? When we were contesting the elections in '97 against Dr. Anthony, you say the campaign for Dr. Anthony was give us a prime minister.
Give you for the prime minister.
Give you for the prime minister.
Yeah.
I said, guys, I don't believe Dr. Anthony knows the first thing that is to be done in Beaufort. He stayed at Beaufort for a little while, in the Mang, actually, from my understanding, when he was going to the Beaufort boys, the Beaufort Secondary School. But this guy does not have the sensibilities of the people of Beaufort. In fact, he only stayed at Beaufort because of convenience for school. Obviously, they didn't listen to me. Obviously, today, they still don't listen to me. Right? They still don't listen. But guess what? Any breakdown you see in Beaufort, any lack of development, you can put it at the foot of Dr. Anthony after 15 years a prime minister. The man was also minister of finance. The same way that Alan Michael Chasney can come, and after 3 years, he said to give him 3 years. After 3 years of fixing the mess that he came to find, he is now moving in a way that will open up Beaufort in a way that Beaufort has not been opened up since the Americans left. Sir John tried something with building up the terminal building and things so. I was in charge of the agricultural exhibition the time when the new airport was being opened. So I was deeply involved in that, right? The new frontier was Sir John's idea. There was nobody to continue it because at that time, there was no representative for Beaufort who wanted to do the kind of work that needed to be done. So when Dr. Anthony came in, there was a lot to be done when Dr. Anthony came in. And to some extent, I never quarrel with people, the election results. I never contest election results. I take it as it is because I fight hard. Okay, but by that time, the banana people and the whole country had created such an atmosphere, such a mood, that there was always going to be a victory for the St. Lucia Labour Party, and that victory was 16-1. So Dr. Anthony had all the cards in his hands to transform Beaufort to the Jerusalem of St. Lucia, to the city on the hill, to make it the best second town or even the first town of any of these Windward and Leeward Islands. What did he do? Just sat, twiddled his thumb, talk a lot of nonsense and rubbish. But I tell people all the time, and I've told you that, Champagne, it is one thing to have a BSc, MSc, BA, MA, PhD. That's good. All these qualifications show that you have done a turn of work at the university level, you have presented good papers, and that you have passed your oral exams and things so, because you have to sit with your examiners when you're doing advanced degree work, right? All that means is that you have done that. It doesn't mean that if they give you a little cabaret where you have to put water in white rum or make a sandwich to sell, that you will make a business out of it. Because like the man that Sir Michael was just describing there, they would put a best supermarket next to you if you don't have the business acumen to say, listen, I don't know this guy. Let me see if the representative here or somebody else might know the people that Marcy down the road that I can speak to. Let me see if somebody can help me put a nicer label. Because, my God, you buy these things in the store. You see what the labeling is like. And people tell you all the time in small business, you have to have good labeling. You cannot advertise a good that is not properly presented. These are the things that Dr. Anthony did not do. And you know something? I say so with emotion because I am very emotional about Beaufort and about St. Lucia. But in a way, I'm not surprised. I am not surprised. And if you give Philippe a chance, he has stayed so long with Anthony when Anthony was doing his nonsense, mismanaging the economy of St. Lucia. Philippe would do no better.
Yeah. So, Michael, who do you blame for the lack of development in Beaufort South and in Castries East? Do you blame the reps or do you blame the people?
The reps. The reps have to be blamed.
So you don't blame the people for re-electing them? You don't give them a level of blame?
Sorry, come again?
Don't you want to blame the people, the voters, for give them some level of blame for re-electing these people after such a long time?
Definitely, yeah. But that is why, Champagne, you know, I really believe there are going to be some surprises this election.
I believe that myself.
Because despite all the negativity that has been put out by the Labour Party, what you have done, Peter Josie has done, I to a lesser extent, and the government, and Norbert, it has once and for all highlighted the efficiencies and deficiencies of the individual, of the players in the.
Let me ask you a tough question.
I mean, how many more times St. Lucians have to be reminded of what the United Workers, everything that has been done has been under the rule of, that speaks volumes.
Yes, every time.
But you know something, Champagne, reality hurts.
Yes.
It hurts.
Every time the SLP breaks this country, the UWP have to come back to fix it.
Correct.
It does not happen once, not twice. It continues to happen.
Yeah.
What would you blame the reps for not developing? Is it lack of funding? And don't they have? Is it lack of common sense? Especially in Castries East.
Drive. Well, I said a while ago, it's all well and good to think of something, start something, but you got to finish it. You have to finish it.
Well, they never started
and you must. Yeah, let me tell you something. I'll give an example. Just let me deviate from it. When I was in the shipping business, it's very expensive to keep a ship on dry dock. I just give you one example. Going on dry dock in Trinidad in the 1970s, Champagne, okay, was $100,000 a day.
How much?
$100,000 a day on dry dock.
And that is back in the 70s?
In the 70s. And let me explain why.
What?
Trinidad was being operated by a British company called Swan Hunters, a big British company. These guys had a floating dock fabricated in Brazil and towed to Trinidad. The floating dock was a big metal box, so to speak. What you do is when your ship comes in, you sink it down to 8 feet, 10 feet, 12 feet, whatever the draft of the ship is. It goes in, they pump out the water, and the ship comes out. Okay? What I noticed every time was that once the ship arrives, the workers work like hell to get the ship up. They work like hell to pressure wash it, to clean off the particles. When the surveyor comes and the surveyor says, look at me, this is bad, that is bad, it has to be cut. They work like hell to cut it off. But they don't work to put it back.
No.
Because they don't want it to finish. And that's where the problem came.
Yes.
Right?
I see.
So that was driven home to me financially.
Yes.
When I saw what was happening. I could go bankrupt.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
So what did I have to do? I had to make a special arrangement with the dry dock people, the directors, and say, look at me, I cannot afford to pay that bill under those conditions. Okay? What can I do? And I worked out a deal with them where I say, okay, fine, I want to pay for so many days and be out. Or else I'll be crippled.
You will be dead.
So that is the problem in life. People start things and they cannot finish it. That has been the downfall of many people. And that has been the downfall of the Labour Party. How many times they had cost overruns? I mean, I'll tell you quite frankly, the road between Soufrière and Vieux-Fort is an excellent road when you figure what has been done. But look at what it costs. It started at 52 million, ended up 110 million. Right?
If not more.
Why? Very simple. I decided to ask some very deep questions. Why? Because the people who were planning the whole road, they never for once took into consideration all the water mains under the road, the electricity lines, the internet lines, and when they started to do the road, it was there. So the contractors just sat back and billed them so much a day. I talked to the directors of Lagan when they went to court, because they actually rented a place from me at Rodney Bay for 3 months to do all the analysis, to crucify the St. Lucia government when they contested the bill. And they had to pay every damn cent about it, okay?
My goodness.
Again, you have to be serious when you do things. You don't leave things to chance.
No.
And I have to say so, the people who are always involved in the Labour Party don't have the knowledge to understand what I'm saying today.
But, Sir
and
Mike,
that is why we continue to have problems when you put them there.
That's correct. I was just about saying that.
Yeah.
If the road from Soufrière to Vieux-Fort was the only problem, cost overrun we had,
We'll be
that
all right.
might not have been bad. We might have been all right. Look at St. Jude.
Yeah, yeah.
You know how much that was spent on St. Jude?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And God knows how many other projects. That is why I say
Road
these
to
guys,
rail and everything else.
You know,
these guys cannot manage. They cannot manage.
Let me say something to you, Brother Peter. And you was in the Castries East area, in Marshall. You know there's been some bagatelle lands, and I know it very well, some lands called Cecil lands. And the people on that property has been there for at least 30, 40 years. And every single election, the rep would send some people up there and say they're going to survey the lands for the people. It is 25 years now. 25 years, the lands are in the same country. It's the same thing you're saying about starting and not finishing.
Yeah.
25 years later, as the representative, the people at Bacatel have no titles for that Cecil land.
And they're still voting for him. But Champagne,
No, well, I want to give them the bell on that because last election they did not vote. We won Bacatel for the first time.
okay, because I was,
Yes.
I was about to
Yes.
say, if that has happened for 20 years, my goodness, like it's happening in Vieux-Fort, that is why I believe the Vieux-Fort people are going to make a change these elections. You cannot blame the rep. The Vieux-Fort people cannot blame Dr. Anthony. After 15 years or 20 years, he did nothing, and you still vote for him. You cannot blame him.
That's
Obviously, you like what is going on.
Apparently.
Because you have the vote, you have the power. All of a sudden, one person is there doing nothing. Every other part of the country is moving forward. Data alone, as the people used to say, and maybe still do, and you're still voting for that same person?
Yeah.
So the problem is not the person.
But
It is you.
I think it is you. I think it is
but
you.
Champagne, I'm not trying to praise you because you're here, but I'm telling you, what you have done here at this station
Yes.
has, the first time in many years, highlighted what is going on.
Oh, yes.
You know,
And
Yeah.
Champagne is on the ground, that's why he knows
Yes.
so well.
Yes.
you know something? You take that guy London. London is going to win that seat.
Oh, that, without a doubt.
He is going to win that seat.
Without a doubt.
All right?
He's
Without a
well
doubt.
spoken,
Well
a very
spoken.
bright guy.
And I think Sean Edwards has a problem also.
They all do.
Because when you listen to that lady, these are serious people. Are very, very serious people. Yeah.
And they're working from what they have seen. They will emulate from what they have seen from this current government.
and you know-
the Prime Minister has done well.
Yeah.
Had it not been, and I continue to say it, had it not been for the coronavirus, this country would be on the top of the
I know.
mountain.
And you know why
On
Sean,
the top.
you know why I believe Sean
Yeah.
deserves to lose?
Yeah.
He's a guy I like, and I believe he should be the leader of the Labour Party, but that's my personal opinion. You know why he'd lose? He had done the right thing by saying the Prime Minister did such and such and such at the first meeting he attended with the CMO, where all the key stakeholders and players were involved. He gave a very good report. But guess what? It was contrary to what his leader and the other people at the top of the Labour Party were saying. If he was a man of integrity and dignity and strength, and these are qualities you need as a leader, he would have held on and stuck to his guns and say, guys, this is what I saw. I believe the CMO, forget about the government. The CMO is moving in the right direction. We are exposed in my constituency. If the people are coming from Martinique and things so, I know it happens. So I can't bother about the Labour Party on that. You all may not support it, but this is what I know. And in the interest of my constituents, this is what I'm going to support. If Sean Edwards had done that, he would not only emerge a winner, he might even have emerged as leader of the Labour Party after the next election.
You think, and Brother Peter, I respect that, but you think when you are in such an organization as the Labour Party, you think you would be courageous enough to cut your nose to spite your face? I mean, you think Sean Edwards...
I did it,
would
Sean.
be able-
Hello,
well,
I
you
did it.
You did. You think Sean Edwards would come out and say in the likes of people like Alva and Kenny and Pierre that the Prime Minister has done something good in regards to the coronavirus in this organization of the Labour Party?
It takes strength. The most they can do is kill you, and they can only kill your body.
Well, he doesn't want to be killed.
Well, so he should not be in politics, because the thing can get so serious in politics that sometimes you can feel your life being threatened. I have felt threatened. I have felt my life being threatened. You understand what I'm saying? But you know
Anyway,
what?
boy,
You can
it
only
is
kill a body.
11:30. I did not even realize we had gone past 11 o'clock. It is 11:30, so we will give our callers an opportunity to call in. We have not discussed any projects. One more thing before I open the line. I heard Alva Baptiste, and I could not understand his calculation. He was giving you some figures yesterday, and he gave figures about renovations of buildings from the government. And then when he went to the bridge now, down there in Cul-de-Sac, he said that the government is giving a grant, but the St. Lucian government also, the government of Japan is giving a grant, but the government of St. Lucia is going to put in 3-point-something million. And he had a problem with that.
Which Alva are you talking about?
Alva Baptiste.
Where was he? Is he still around?
He's there. He was at the house yesterday. So he's saying that 3 point whatever million should not be coming from some fund he spoke about. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah.
It should be coming from the money that the government is collecting on the fuel charge. So I couldn't understand what
They
it was.
cannot decide that. The
Is he
government has
saying-
said the money is for the roads. They're not him.
Well, he was thinking about the bridges as
That-
some
that-
form of road.
Oh, I see.
That's what he's saying. But is he saying that the government, even if we are getting a grant from the Japanese government, and there's some
Must not
extra money
participate.
is supposed to be put, are we not supposed to help for our own cause? Is that what he's saying? I couldn't figure it out.
But I don't
You
see
think you
why-
will help
But
me out with
that's
that?
above.
I don't see why Alva's name comes in there. This guy has been asleep. He didn't do anything. It's just like my friend, Lorne Theophilus. I saw they resuscitated him, although he didn't say anything negative. But
Yeah.
all of a sudden, the Labour Party is scraping the bottom of the barrel, looking for anything, anybody they can get to say a few words, hopefully, to try to convince people to support them.
Yeah.
That boy, Champagne-
Anyway, St. Lucia, it is 11:30, and we are going to turn on the phone lines. We do have a call by way of WhatsApp. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning, Champion.
Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Sir Chasney and Mr. Josie.
Good morning to you, sir.
This is Bast. I'm not afraid to say it.
Who is
Let me
it?
tell you a little poem.
Last day.
Oh, Bastien.
A little poem is, in the world broad field of battle, in the bivouac of life, be not like dumb driven cattle,
Be a hero.
be a hero in the strife. And I see labor, they're like dumb driven cattle. And my prime minister is trying to be a hero, not a hero to go and boast,
Yeah, to himself.
but
No.
a hero like people praise Sir John, what he has done, and what the prime minister is doing. That is the type of hero
Yes.
he's
Yes.
showing. He's not about like a
Not a
dumb
hero to
driven cattle.
himself.
In
Not
the
a hero to
present
himself.
in the present strife,
Kenny Anthony would never do good for Viewfort because he was about keeping hatred against people like he did to me. Have them to transfer me and said I was campaigning for UWP, and that's why he could do nothing for Viewfort
and-
because he keeps people at heart
Yeah.
when he
And-
knows
and-
enough
and-
vote for
and
him.
Basta-
Like they did Sir John.
And
A
Basta-
great man like that, you didn't want him to park on the boulevard. You
Bas-
know?
Basta-
And that is it.
Bastien Herrera.
Yes.
They are the same guys who like to talk about victimize, I've never mentioned that word,
Yes.
but I know these guys. I know what they have tried to do to me, my friends, my people. Vindictiveness is a joke. They invented that word. They invented what vindictive is.
Yeah.
Yes. So, Sir Mike and Mr. Josie, when you all are coming to Viewfort, let me know. I can meet you all first to talk.
I'll be,
You know?
I'll be
Like
there.
I want to meet you all.
The
Sir
only-
Mike should be, maybe he don't remember me, but I was the one serving his letters in Black Bay for him. I wouldn't say for what. That's Sir Mike.
All right.
I'll be
the
there.
inspector.
I'm always there Saturday. and
He'll be
Sunday,
there on
so I'll be
Saturday,
there
Brother
for-
Bas.
The only thing preventing us from
Okay.
traveling in,
All
in
right,
groups
beautiful.
is the coronavirus. We have to try to set the example,
Hello, good morning.
Although somebody they told me that I must.
Hello. Good morning. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Hi,
Good morning, sir.
I want to address Mr. Josie first, if
Go
you
ahead.
don't mind.
Go ahead, caller.
I listened to your discussion with Rick a couple days ago, and I would like to ask you this question. There are two time periods which remain very strong in my mind. One was the 1979 to 1982 period. That was the subject of your discussion with Rick. The other one was the 1997 period during the time Kenny Anthony was Prime Minister of this country. Which of the two periods do you think were more disastrous to St. Lucia?
You heard the question, Brother Peter?
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I should answer in an objective way. And I don't want to exonerate anything that negative that might have happened between 79 and 82 because that hurt me so much. I could never have spoken about it, and that is why even with Rick Wayne on Independence Day 2 days ago on Monday, I did not question even some of the things that Lisa Joseph was reading because there was so much energy, so many dreams. That's why I call my first book Shattered Dreams. So many dreams of mine of old labor, George Charles from George Charles era were shattered. I don't know, caller, if I can at this time give you an honest and objective opinion. What I know about Dr. Anthony and the Labour Party, and which I thought was more negative in a way than a lot of things that happened in the 79-82 period, was when they went to Babono. I could never forget. I think only George and this, was it Francois from Soufrière, I think, and maybe Kenneth John at Babono, were somewhat lukewarm about the resolution they passed to make only Labour people first in everything. I lost track of a lot of the other things that they were doing, some of the laws that Dr. Anthony tried to pass, like somebody mentioned 361 this morning. But I can say clearly that I personally had expected a lot more from Dr. Anthony. I'd expect a vision of the country that he came to find. I mean, he was in the government of Alan Louisi with myself and George at least twice. First, we negotiated with Louisi to try to get him in as a senator and education minister. He left, and then he came back when George promised everything would be quiet. So it was a rough period for me, 1979-82. But the 97 going on, he had all the banana workers. And you know another thing he did that hurt the country badly, I think it was worse than the Babono resolution, was that he passed the entire banana business, I would say the whole agricultural business portfolio, to Patrick Joseph. That was a disaster waiting to happen. Patrick Joseph, of all persons, you know, was the one controlling everything. And up to now, caller, I'll be honest with you, up to now, I do not believe that agriculture, especially bananas, has recovered since that period when Dr. Anthony came into office and gave Patrick Joseph that industry. Up to now. I know the world market is
not.
I know the world market is different. Let me not be biased because you have to speak the truth and speak it honestly as you know it. The world market is different. Things are different. But guess what? I saw a clip somebody showed me on a video of what some people in Africa are doing with the banana stem. These are things that people, when I was Minister of Agriculture between 79 and 82, had actually brought to St. Lucia to introduce me and St. Lucia to try to make paper out of, you know, the banana stem and leaves and things so and do all kinds of things. And that is one of the things that traumatized me so much about the leadership struggle and the thing, because all of those works, including the young students that we are trying to build up in the Vieux-Fort North area, just as you turn the corner going up to Peru and these places, we had, you know, trying to establish a youth camp there to train young people in agriculture and mechanics and different things. All of those things were in the process of developing. So I was very disheartened, and I believe the 79 period hurt me personally more than the nonsense Dr. Anthony did, because I expected Dr. Anthony to do better, but when I saw the way he passed the banana industry to Pat Joseph and his friends and different things, I gave up. I gave up from that time. And when I look back at Vieux Fort, you know, the town of my birth, and I've always maintained that, you know, I believe being born at Vieux Fort was a great advantage to me before I came up to Castries.
All right, caller, you have something else? We're trying to limit, we're trying to get some more calls in.
Can you just hold on?
Yeah, go ahead, caller. Because go
Well,
ahead.
let me say very quickly that in the 1979 to 1982 period, despite all the problems and the physical threats, I saw overambition, naivety, incompetence, and setting the roots of victimization.
Okay.
But in 1997 and beyond, I saw arrogance, incompetence, victimization, and vindictiveness.
Yes. That vindictiveness thing was very bad.
Vindictiveness that became entrenched and became part of the St. Lucia Labour Party.
So, caller, you would classify,
so
97 a worse period than 79 then?
I would, without a doubt.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
I had
don't want
difficulty
to take
doing
too
that.
much of your time.
Yes.
I take the point you are making, especially with that vindictiveness. I don't think the Labour Party, as a matter of fact, I like to repeat, when I took the group of farmers, when I was Minister of Agriculture between 79 and 82, and I took the farmers up to England, out of the 7 farmers who went with me, I think 5 of them were supporters of the UWP. And I came in on the Labour Party ticket, and people, including some of the guys who worked in the ministry, used to say to me, but these people are UWP.
Yeah. Okay, caller?
Thank you very
All
much.
right, thanks for holding.
I used to tell them,
Good morning.
I'm minister for everybody.
Hello, good morning, sir. Go ahead.
Hi, good morning, Champagne.
Good morning, sir.
Morning to your guest.
Hi, morning.
Champagne, I have a contribution to make.
Go ahead.
To tell me out, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Gentlemen.
Just speak a little louder, caller, please. Just a little louder, please.
Okay. The UWP, by and large, has always been an elitist party.
Mm-hmm.
Our views are mainly conservative. I mean, that attitude is firmly ingrained in the DNA of the party. Perhaps, maybe later on, Peter Josie can explain why that is. But we need to step outside the box and realize the times have changed. We are in a new millennium, and our message should no longer appeal to only the educated and the enlightened.
Mm-hmm.
There needs to be a message or a campaign that appeals to the masses.
Mm-hmm.
These so-called Malay.
Yeah.
Though they may be uneducated, they are by no means stupid.
No.
As Desiderata said, listen to others, even
Yes, sir.
the ignorant.
That's right.
You're speaking to Champagne right
You're
there.
speaking to me, buddy. Even the dull and the ignorant.
Leadership and direction, because they feel that they no longer have a voice.
They have their own
The
stories.
has recognized, capitalized, and exploited that fact.
So, caller, let me ask you this. Sorry, let me ask you
Down
this.
to that level.
How do you
Address
get...
them in the language that they understand?
Yes.
To get out of our comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And what we need to do is to tailor a message, that is not only directed at a particular set.
Mm-hmm.
While the SLP has tailored their propaganda to appeal across the board,
Mm-hmm.
to attack them on all fronts. We need to target the youth, the so-called Malawi, the Creole-speaking segment of our society. We need to unleash hell.
Yes, sir.
Survival of not only the UWP, but also this country depends on that.
Amen. Amen,
Now,
caller.
something entirely different. I heard a particular radio show who say that the UWP ministers are now multimillionaires, and how Gail Rigobat is now on 40 million. I mean, what kind of math? Where is she getting that kind of money?
Wow.
I mean, why are these people allowed to perpetuate such lies, and there's no form of redress? The madness that I'm talking about.
Yeah. I've been asking that
But
same
that is
question.
also desperation. So we must explain to people why desperation can drive people to say these things.
Hello?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, you see, what happened to these things, callers? Some people actually listen to those statements, Because if you're listening someone who, you're less fortunate and you have a family of 4, and you're hearing a minister of government is in the excess of $40 million, you, in that level of your life at that time, you want to stay, you want to listen to this nonsense. So these guys are really addressing these people.
And you don't have 400 for yourself.
When you don't have 400 for yourself.
Needs to be directed at their audience.
That is what they're doing. That is what they're doing. They're putting out all those lies and propaganda so that their people could be angry when they hear this kind of statements.
So that's why they must be countered. These statements must be countered.
That's right.
That is exactly
That's
what I'm
right.
saying.
Mm-hmm.
That is right.
Now, I remember when I was growing up as a young man, something that Mr. Josie mentioned earlier about the banana stems. Well, didn't Harry Atkinson have a factory somewhere around the Tirochet area where they started to experiment with those things?
I believe Harry might have, yes, right.
Yeah. It would be good, though, Scholar, to see we do something else with our banana production and the leaves and everything else.
But then, Champagne, going back to my main point, our PR needs to be changed.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Caller. All right, beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful morning to you. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. We recognize this powerful voice. How are you?
I'm fine. By the grace of God, I'm doing well.
You have made the airwaves from Norbert's show. Everybody wants to hear that contribution you made this morning. They want to hear it all day.
Yeah, I know. I'm a positive person and I don't like to see nonsense.
Yes, go ahead.
That's the kind of person I am. And I love my country.
Amen.
Let me tell you, from 1997, we St. Lucians took a chance. We took a chance. It was like we were tired of eating mangoes and bananas. Mm-hmm. Tired of eating mangoes and bananas. We saw something launch in St. Lucia, a face, a nice face that much of us didn't know nothing about. We took a gamble on that face.
Yeah.
We planted a seed, and now we are ripping off the fruit from that plant. We planted a seed. We took faith. We were tired of Sir John. We were tired of seeing Sir John for the 45 years. So we said, look at your face. Let us put a gamble on that face.
Yeah.
And that from 1997, we gave the SLP a 16-1 mandate to continue from where Sir John left St. Lucia. And these people never gave us the satisfaction. They never gave us that satisfaction. And today, 2021, we're in the 20th century and we are ripping off the fruit that we planted in. Yes. Because we thought we were going to get some grapes and apples and pears.
We thought we were going to get a better fruit.
That. We didn't. Yes, we thought we were going to get some sweet grapes. Like today, St. Lucia should have been like in the ranking of saying Little America or Little France. That's what we thought we were doing. To get a country that is beautified. But we didn't get that. Kenny came in with all his arrogance, all his vindictiveness. He brought that into our country, the hate. We all knew when I was a little girl, sitting at my home, listening to the debates and things. I used to see Sir John and all of them debating. And next day you'd see these people shaking hands, And when Kenny came in, I said, well, this wrong of that parliament that passed. When I saw Kenny Anthony refuse to shake the Prime Minister hand, I said, St. Lucia finish. I said, St. Lucia is doomed. Because that man knew exactly what he did there. He knew. Champagne, he knew that's how his politics is dirty.
Caller, I remember in after the elections of 2011, and Mr. Josie is sitting there with me, and I don't even know if you remember that, on national television, and he said, Anthony, he didn't say Kenny Anthony, he said, Anthony is bad for St. Lucia. I remember that statement made on national television, on the news. I don't even know if you remember that.
Who said that?
You said that.
Oh, but I've always said that.
He said, Anthony is bad for St. Lucia. He said it.
And I believe it up to now.
Yeah. Anything else, caller?
Yes. Yes. And it's from that side. It's like, and then we get that man from Cicero, the rep from Cicero said that man has something inside of him. That man is an atheist. He's an atheist. And the meaning of atheist, you don't believe in God. You don't believe in peace.
Atheist.
That man is arrogant. That man has hatred
Atheist.
from his bosom.
Yeah. I don't know where all this hate is coming from, caller.
It is there, and that is rubbing in on our people, and that's where the indiscipline, this is not discipline.
Yes.
Champion, it hurts my heart, it's painful.
That's why
when you see you love your country.
That's why Champagne starts his program with prayers.
Yes, on all of our programs,
Yes, and we have to do that, especially the prayer warriors in St. Lucia. We do not put our knees down. Those sis, you see that election that coming there, we need, if we need peace in St. Lucia, if we need peace, we need to put our knees down. I am in it too. I am in it.
All right, now caller, we have extended an invitation for you, huh? All right, I hope you heard me this morning, myself or Brother Norbert. We have extended an invitation for you to be here with us. You could probably have your show, or you want to sit with one of us one of these days, okay?
Champagne na do bagay so sap ki moun moye ou ka just pisse aso.
Ou ka pa man sabi on se jusa, okay?
Ou ka just pisse aso. Another thing about Alva Baptist, that man is talking and talking. That man doesn't know. Ask the man what is GDP for me, please, because he is in government. If somebody asks you what is GDP, you have to go back in the books and get the meaning of GDP. Who you leading? What you leading? Every member of parliament is supposed to know what is GDP.
It's a great,
and you don't know that?
It's the great dividing party, caller.
Yeah, that's what it means for them.
Mr. Josie, I loved you. I wish I could have married you from the time I was 18 years.
The great dividing party, caller. The great dividing party, GDP.
Okay, caller. Now I don't want to run after you, but we want to take a few more calls. Okay.
Thank you and have a nice day.
All right,
but you never know if I would have agreed.
Yeah, she's always outspoken and she wants to always, and she makes great contributions. Beautiful morning to you. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, young man here.
Yes, sir. How are you doing?
It's been a while I've been listening.
I wonder why would you change your name to young man? You look very young. You shouldn't let us know. We already know that.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
I'm just basically calling. I've been hearing the discourse over the past.
A little louder.
You want to speak a little louder, please? Please?
Can you hear me better?
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, I've been hearing the discourse over the past few weeks, right? And I've been enjoying the back and forth. But you know, there's some stuff that really gets me riled up, right? The Labour Party has always been a party who deals with smoke and mirrors, right? They say one thing, but in the blink of an eye, they do something else. I was listening to Mr. Hille yesterday giving some comments after the session in Parliament.
Yeah.
And he was talking about the money that is being borrowed.
Yes, I heard
by
that.
the Prime Minister. Trying to mislead the people of the country to believe that the money is, in fact, he's trying to mislead the country so much that he even tied himself in what he was saying. Because I think he even ended his statement by saying, if the government borrows the money to help the people of the country, he wouldn't be surprised.
Yes.
If the government doesn't borrow the money and doesn't help the people.
Yes, he wouldn't be surprised either. Yes, yes.
I mean, what kind of
contradicting, eh?
You understand? And the Prime Minister clearly stated that the intention of the monies that have been borrowed was clearly outlined in his budget speech. If you go back, you will see exactly where these monies, that process was already in advance before. It's not now that they're coming to do it. It was something that was already in the pipeline from before. You understand? That's the same set of people who try to mislead the country when Sean Edwards said one thing and his leader said something else. That's the same country where Ernest Hille is saying, here are the keys, come and get it. And now that we've gotten the keys, there's nothing again to be said.
And Macaulay, you know something? Again, it has to do with how we were raised, the early part of your childhood. We were taught that if you had nothing to say, if you couldn't speak the truth, stay quiet. Keep quiet. They will not keep quiet because they're so arrogant, they feel they know everything.
And that's the same party where Dr. Kenny Anthony himself, the secretary there, he said, as soon as I come into office, I will inject $100 million into the economy. Where is the $100 million, sir?
Well, that is,
And you know something? He knew there was no 100 billion. That is the saddest part of all.
Fluff and bluff again, you know.
but Caller, I want to come back to your opening remarks when you said about what Mr. Healy said, and I saw that, and immediately I started laughing.
Yeah,
What he's saying there is he's putting the people on high alert. That money that has been borrowed because of the coronavirus, that the government now is supposed to assist the people. So in other words, he's already telling the people that money is to be given to you. That is what he's saying. You understand?
Because we know that there are people who are in dire need, people who are struggling.
Yes, people are suffering.
The Prime Minister doesn't know that.
Yeah.
Doesn't the Prime Minister know
People are
that?
suffering.
Caller, let me just say something to you quickly. I hate to interrupt, but do you know it's the same strategy that they used in 97? And they felt that that 16-1 that resulted was because of that. They were telling every banana farmer in St. Lucia, the government owes you money.
Yes.
The association owes you
So
money.
they're supposed to
Give the
pay you.
people their money.
That's right.
Give the people their money. So they come back on the same thing again.
Same thing.
Once you tell people that the government is
Yeah.
owing them, and you put in the minds of a person who has no money, that a minister has 40
Yes,
million or how
40
many
million,
million,
yes.
and that person does not have $400
That's
in
right.
his pocket, automatically, if you're stupid, you will
Yes.
believe it.
It's the same thing with Honorable Stevenson King, with the CSA.
Yeah.
Pay the people their
Give
money.
the people their money.
Give the
Give
people
the
their money.
When you come in, you offer them zero, zero, zero.
You see this tragedy. And some of our people fall for this nonsense, huh? Some of our people.
And they don't use bull piss.
Caller, anything else, caller?
Yes. One more thing I want to say.
Yeah.
UWP, our people, and I say our people, referring to the UWP congregation, we are not stupid. We are not fools. We have been taking a ride for long enough in this country.
Yep.
Mr. Chasney had a vision for the country from inception.
That's right.
COVID derailed it slightly,
Yeah.
but we are still on course
Still there.
for getting to where we will need to be. Our Pearl of the Caribbean is
Yes, sir.
Very good.
Yes,
Very
sir.
good.
we still have things, and as a young person, these are things that I gravitated towards when I heard it. Because
Oh,
I was
yes.
hearing the same old BS year after
Yeah,
year.
exactly.
And
Nothing
there
new.
was this man with a vision, with the view of doing things differently, even the way he set up his cabinet. I was impressed with it at the time.
Yeah.
Because that was unprecedented. Nobody had done that. We have been doing the same thing over and over
All the
again,
time.
expecting different
All the
results.
time.
Champagne, you said something the other day which I liked. You said that the people who are complaining, and it's so sad because Trump did that too. He brainwashed these people into believing the nonsense that he was saying. And look at what happened.
Yeah.
I was speaking to an older gentleman, and he was talking about the $300 million that was borrowed for COVID or was given for COVID. And I told him, let's have an honest discussion. You know what he did for me? He didn't want to have a discussion with me, you know. What he did was take his phone and play that nonsense that Christopher Hunt and Calix George and Trisha Lyon and all these people are just...
My goodness.
These lies that they are just splurging all over the place. I told him, look at this. You're just taking it hook, line, and sinker. But have you gone in the background and done the research that is necessary?
It's personal
to
research, yeah.
understand what is
Yeah.
going on. You understand?
Yeah.
And the other thing too, my last point is, you said that the last time, Champagne. You said that there are people who are complaining, oh, people cannot eat roads, and the government is focusing or trying to finish St. Jude's and so forth. You said something which I'd like so much. If you don't, or you don't agree with the road being built, do not drive there.
Ah, boy.
It's forcing you to drive on it.
That's right.
If you fall sick, don't go in the people's St. Jude.
That's right.
Because you are against it.
You are opposing everything,
You understand?
so don't use it.
I am praying that the Prime Minister of St. Lucia, and I'm praying, and as the lady said, we are prayer warriors, and us UWP people, we are resilient people. We don't come out with all the fanfare and all the blasting all over the place. We know that when the time comes,
Yes.
we know we have to do what we have to do, which is in the ballot box.
And caller, before you leave, I'm going to say something to you. This election, You see the flabos that didn't vote in 2016? Because there may have been some that didn't vote. Every single one of them will vote in this election. You know why? Because of the disrespect that the SLP and the operative have shown to this administration, and particularly the Prime Minister.
Yes.
They will come out and teach these people a lesson they will never forget.
Never forget.
Yes.
And I want that to be the case,
Yes.
but we must also be aware of them trying to pull the wool over our eyes.
Oh, that's not going to happen. As long as Sky FM is in existence, we will never allow that to happen.
Oh, yes.
Thanks a lot, my friend.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, beautiful. Have a good day. All right. Special good morning to you. Hello. Good morning.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Shabin. How do you do?
I'm doing good, sir. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning to Mr. Josie.
Good morning.
And Sir Mike.
Thank
Good
you.
morning. Thank you.
Champagne, I have no questions, but just my statement, I don't want you to take too long a time accepting calls because we want to see the pictures that Sir Shasta has to show.
We have some time today.
I'm there waiting.
Okay.
I'm there waiting to see those pictures.
All right, no problem. Okay, thanks a lot.
This is Albert John from St. Croix.
I know, I recognize the voice. Okay, buddy. Thank you. Okay, well, we have some time today. They're not leaving at 12 o'clock, so we have some time. Special good morning to you. Hello.
Good morning, Champion, and good morning to your guest.
And good morning
Good
to
morning.
you, sir.
Yeah, Champion,
Mm-hmm.
this Labour Party, those three, how many of them in Parliament? 6 of them.
Yeah, there's 6 parliamentarians, yeah.
Those guys are a bunch of jokers.
So many.
Yes,
They
6.
had a 16-man one mandate in 1979, right? And they let that slip until when they went back to the ballot, more and more you see they're decreasing. Now they know they're finished for 2021.
Yeah.
The fellas know their life is on the line. That is the final straw to get back into power. So they don't have no choice. So what you're going to do is to lie propaganda and try to think that solutions are stupid. But solutions not stupid. Look at the pandemic. Look at what is happening now. The bridge in Cul-de-sac, which is a major project. That major project, if you have to compare this government and the Labour Party government, that project alone in Cul-de-sac, under the leadership of Kenny Anthony, it was more than anything that he ever done in the free election that he won. He never put on any work like what is happening. And then you have the airport, I think it's ongoing now. I want to take a trip there to see for myself because I want to talk about that a lot. Then you talk, I'm not even talking about DSH. DSH is too much for him because they lie repeatedly on DSH until when the guy had to move from Labour to Flabo and they start lying and saying this, that about DSH. The man never know about Mang. How the man knew about Mang?
Yeah.
And all the lands they wanted to give the man and they say the man take our land. The man they take our land. Because you see, with the Labour Party, they like a lot of money, eh? If you don't pass money under the table, you're getting authorization to develop the country. And you look at Cabot, which is a wonderful project. Why are you looking out for that? I went there and that project is a magnificent project. And to make it nice again, you see by the sea view, wow! But I never knew St. Lucia was so sweet. And I endorsed in the Cabot project because the number of employment people will be getting is in the hundreds. And as we speak, there's people working there making the dollar. And most of the countries in the Caribbean have not have the project unfolding like we have our project unfolding. So everybody at the end of the month or fortnightly, they could go to the supermarket and walk out with their bags,
Yeah.
putting food on the table for the kids.
Yeah.
And that is what is killing them. Because they realize
under the leadership of our Prime Minister we elect. He didn't come through the back door. He came through the front door. We elected him. We give him a mandate. And he said, give him 3 years. All the time the man was traveling in and out. Everybody said, man, this man ran like a plane and this, that, and the other. Now, all the time he was out there, we see it unfolding as we speak. And with the Labour Party, those guys just like money. And what they does, you don't have to be working, but you're on the roster, so you could just go and collect your check. We don't print money. We're not United States of America, where America could print money or they have oil. Nobody here. The only thing I tell in St. Lucian, you see the Ojo Labs young people, take that serious.
Yeah.
Ojo Labs has created a number of jobs, and the Labour Party do not like Ojo Labs.
Yeah.
The reason for that,
They're planning to shut it down.
many young people. And another one again. I don't want to fall short. There's a young lady which is in the same foundation I am in, and Independence Day we create over 250 meals for the needy people. Breakfast in the morning, lunch in the afternoon. The young lady is ongoing job training. Okay? The month is not even up yet. They give her salary already. And you know what she did? Young lady, you know, under job training, she gave half our salary to the Peer Foundation, so it could have happened for those needy people. And she also brings
Need to ring the bell on that.
the needy people. This is, you know, the vision under the leadership of Alan Shastney to push this country forward. But the Labour Party, all right, look at that.
I give you another minute and call. I have some more calls coming in.
You never even give your people a little bread and cheese, and you tell me $5 could block a hole? Huh?
Yeah.
25 years, what have you have done for Marsha? People still in pit toilets? Huh?
Yeah.
Could you believe that? I mean, Marsha is an international place. But when you really look at it, Marsha look like a slum.
Yeah.
There's sometimes I want to go there and I'm afraid.
The change is coming, caller.
It's not what it used to be.
The change is coming, caller. All right?
But I know, under the leadership of Alan Shastney, our Prime Minister we elect, everything cannot happen in 5 years. But under his leadership, Labour Party has never done what this guy has done in 25 years. And hopefully,
All right, caller. Thank you very much.
him again.
Yes.
For another 5 years,
Amen.
St. Lucia will be a little Dubai. I
That's
don't care
right.
what people say.
You're
That's
right.
how I see it.
All right. Thank you, caller. Beautiful.
I mentioned in my opening statement that one of the things that the Labour Party keeps talking about and some of their supporters is consultation. I want to know from them, how many times did the former government, how many times did the former government consult anybody on anything they were doing?
Yeah. Good morning, caller. Hello. Good afternoon. Well, it's now afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Hi.
Champagne, before I leave, remind me, there's a question I need to ask Mr. Josie, but I want to make another contribution first.
Yeah, go ahead.
Champagne, the independence celebrations, you know which program I enjoyed the most?
Which one?
The one with Peter Josie
Yes.
and Rick Wayne.
Was beautiful.
That brought back a lot of men.
Was a lot of great program.
No. Champagne, you made a statement this morning about what it was, accusing Guy Joseph or what?
$380 million.
Well, what I said is he's the outspoken one, so he will always be under the attack.
Okay, and you and others. But Champagne, mark my word, it will move up another level instead of just the attacks on verbal attacks. Have you noticed that the Labour Party has not made any statement or distanced themselves from any of the attacks and threats that have made?
No, I've seen that. I recognize that. You're right on that. They have not condemned any one of the bad statements by any one of the operatives.
This will lead into something else, bigger than just the threats.
So, caller, why should that happen in our country? Not that we have not seen it before. There's a security level in this country. There's the police force. So if we are thinking that will happen, we need to put our police, our security force on alert. Right?
Champagne, these things should never happen. Let me tell you, from 1997, a new era of politics has entered St. Lucia.
That is true.
With the introduction of Dr.
Introduction, no, that is right, my friend. You're right on that.
Okay?
We have had a division we have never had before 97. This country is divided right through the middle.
As Sir John told you, he had adversaries, not enemies.
It's true.
We went to elections, we said what we had to say about each other, and when the elections was over, we moved on as a nation.
Yeah. Brother Peter Josie.
Not so anymore.
Brother Peter Josie could allude to that. He told you he met the man in Geneva. Was it Geneva, Brother Peter?
Brussels.
Brussels, and they had a drink at the bar at the hotel.
We have a different style of politics now. Now, St. Lucians need to understand our system is that we go to Parliament, we get approval to borrow. We do not have that luxury America has when you go to Congress and you ask for a certain amount of money. You get approval and they go and they print out the money.
Exactly. We must borrow.
We must borrow.
Yeah.
Now that is what is bothering the SLP with this administration.
Yes.
They were not able to borrow.
That's right.
And the UWP can now borrow.
That is right.
Very good point.
That is right.
Very, very good point.
Okay.
And there's a reason for that, you know, caller. If you go get a loan for a car,
they mismanage the economy.
Go ahead, caller. Yeah, go ahead.
At one point in time, under the Labour Party administration, no business in town was accepting any government POs.
Ah, boy. I thought I heard something like that, you know, a while back.
That's reality. Okay?
That is sad for a government, caller. You know, we really need to look into this. I know you said it's a reality, but this is information that we need to bring out to the public.
Champagne, there is too much information there that has to be brought out to the public.
Yes.
Imagine, you remember the 00?
Yes, 005. 001 it was.
You know what was their increase as parliamentarians? I think it was either 80 to 100%. Instant.
Yeah. And they match.
They matched to pay the people when they come. That's what it was.
That's right.
Now, DJ, Champagne, you said something, and I endorse it. Our next Governor General, under UWP administration,
yes, sir,
should be Mr. Peter.
I said it, and I will continue to say it.
Caller Champagne said that?
Yes, I did.
But you're not my friend, Champagne.
Why? No, listen to me. I believe that is well necessary.
Yeah. I think you are a statesman enough to deserve that.
Yes, I believe that in my heart.
Caller, you know what? I respect it, and I love you for that. I love Champagne for that. But
we don't want you to say.
I'm happy where I am, caller. Honestly.
No. That may come back to.
It's not you
being happy. Not you.
Okay. You still have a contribution to make.
And caller, not to anything about our current Governor General. He's a brilliant man. He's a great man.
Brilliant.
We are saying.
We're talking about he wouldn't be there for. He cannot be there for.
Exactly. That's what we're saying. Yeah, beautiful.
Now, since when UWP won the last election, I looked at this young man from Denry North, Sean Edwards, and I said he was the future of the Labour Party.
Okay.
Caller, you have a vision, man. I've always said that and felt that. You know?
Yeah, PTL said
I'm telling you this. This man, I look at him, I have a lot of time for him. Now, my last question to you, Mr. Josie. During that 1979 era, can you recall when, I think it was Imelda Charles or Margaret Roberts still was at Radio St. Lucia, and the last we heard was "Turn it off."
Or even Joyce Ogie's time.
Joyce Ogie's, or one of them.
Yeah.
Joyce Ogie's.
When the guys went up to literally take over the radio station.
Station. I just want to know what will happen after that.
You know, I had distanced myself already from George because I saw all the nonsense George was doing from the time we were in the forum together. That is not what we had agreed to, okay? So the night they went up there, I was nowhere around. And as Rick Wayne rightly said that night with me on the thing, 90% of the things that George was involved in and doing, I had no idea because, you see, I would oppose it unless he gave me a good reason. He said, the same thing Sir Michael said about the Barbadian, the average Barbadian in Barbados whom he used to meet. Give me a reason we are going to do that. He couldn't answer me. I said, but George, you know, he's trying to be a Morris bishop and putting other people's lives on the line and not his own. So I was nowhere around, and I'm not sure if he was charged or anything, but you know, by that time, I suspect that George was doing so much of what John Compton wanted. I wouldn't say it was a plot, maybe Sir John didn't even know, but Sir John realized, as an old fox politician, that what George was doing in the Labour Party would bring down the Labour Party government, and maybe, you know, the UWP would get back in office. So I think Joyce Ogis was traumatized this time. I knew Joyce very well, may her soul rest in peace. And I had to tell Joyce that night I was nowhere around, and I'm serious, nowhere around, because I thought that is nonsense. You're just playing into the hands of the police. You want your voice on the radio, you go and take over, and you go in and do it when Joyce is playing her little music and enjoying herself. That was not the time as far as I'm concerned. At noon or 1 o'clock, when the main news is coming, that's when you should do it if you're really brave. You see the point I'm making? But I have no recollection, honestly, whether they were charged or not.
Finally, you see this Malawi, that's Malawi, and that give the people the money. Something that is psychology.
Yeah, but it worked in '97 as far as the Labour Party is concerned. That's the point I'm trying to make. Give them all away, give the people the money, and even before that, the civil servants were marching. Give the people the money.
That is psychology to cause an event.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say. I'll leave it there.
Give the people the money as if the people, as if the government have some money tree that they can shake and give to the people.
Okay, so we're going to do one more call, St. Lucia, because while we await our camera operators, we will be bringing you some footage on what's happening in our beautiful country. Good morning, good afternoon to you. Hello.
I want to enforce that when this party gets into power, my next Governor General will be the legendary Peter Josie. I endorse that.
All right, thank you.
Well, you know, I remember we had a meeting at Soufrière when Mr. Snack was Prime Minister. Should I continue speaking?
Yes, go ahead, sir.
And there's a lady who was being honored. She was a long-term head teacher. I think she was the one, Mistress Mathran. And when the prize was given to her by Mr. Snack, the Prime Minister, who was also representing Soufrière, I think, at the time, she said, if men say that I am great, who am I to dispute that? So I know the Bible says that you must not bring curse unto yourself, you know, and the word of God and the word of the people can be the word of God. So you know what? Whatever you guys say that you feel is good for me, I respect it and I thank you for it. So I will not pray any negative into my life. Give me the bell on that.
Yes, I will give you the bell on that, sir. Hello, good afternoon.
Okay,
hello.
Sir.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
We
sir.
have to have some levity sometimes, you know.
Yes. Good afternoon. Yes.
Peter Josie.
Yes, good afternoon.
I also endorse that for Peter Josie, the next Governor General.
Oh, so I'll be getting the bell the whole time.
I just want to make a short comment.
You guys are very kind. Thank you very much. You all are too kind.
Hello?
Yeah, we're there.
Yeah. I think some more investigation have to be done on Sean Edwards before you are really recommending to be the head of anybody.
Well, I was not the one making the recommendation. I just think...
You know, I said a long time that I believe that he was a decent kind of guy, but I also said, caller, that he messed up his chances because of the way he handled that coronavirus thing. The very first meeting he went to when everybody was there, including the CMO, the PM, the cabinet secretary and things, so he gave a very good account. But when the party started taking a different road, unfortunately, instead of standing up as a man, and a man of integrity and strength and respect, he folded in. So I don't know if he has the qualities of leadership that I felt he had, you know?
Yeah, because don't mind what you see in the house.
Okay. It's a egg.
Yeah, caller, and I'm one of those St. Lucian who love to see our people prosper. I always want to hear our country moving forward. But to be, in all fairness, I am not one of those people that would love to speak too highly of the Labour Party. And it has some personal things happening with that, because I have been a serious target by these people. On my job, even carrying luggage, I've been attacked when they were in office. I've been hated by these people. So I choose, although the Bible says forgive and forget, I choose not to have anything, any association with these people. And I could say it on the national radio.
Who knows more than that about you? Champagne, I have things to say so much. I just don't talk to you.
Yeah, I choose not to associate myself with them.
Things that the Labour Party have done to a supporter and member for 49 years who campaigned, who gave them cashews, no.
Yeah.
You know? And I just wanted to
yeah, so you endorse, you too would endorse Mr. Peter Josie in being our Governor General?
I think he has the knowledge, he has
yes,
the experience.
Definitely.
I think he would be a good candidate. He would be able to direct and work with the government. He
yes.
would be able to touch on different issues.
Thank you, caller. Thank you very much. I will pray that blessing into my life instead of saying no thanks. Thank you.
Right. Okay, caller. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, and have a good afternoon.
So,
Thank you.
So, Michael, are we on now?
Yeah, well, call
he said whenever we're ready. Is it on?
Yeah, we're ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello, good afternoon. We're going to do the final call. Good afternoon. Hey, Kau, Sanu Febana. Makata no? Après ça, on ouvre Peter Josie. Ok. 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 Oui.
Merci, frère. Merci beaucoup.
Ok, Bana. Merci.
Merci beaucoup.
All right. So while we await some footage on certain developments, we will take another call here. Good afternoon to you. Hello.
Good afternoon, Champagne. How you doing?
I'm doing good, sir. Good afternoon.
Okay, I'm all right. Good afternoon to your panelists, you know.
Good afternoon to you.
Champagne.
Yes, sir.
Let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
I know you know V4.
Yeah, I know.
Josie knows V4.
So Michael as well.
Mr. Shasney, if you know V4 well.
He knows it better than me.
Do you remember the two by the cemetery? They had two disco.
Two club, nightclub.
Yeah.
Two nightclub. Do you remember that?
I think so. I'm not 100%.
I remember vaguely. Yes.
Yeah, just the name I forgot. You know, just the name I forgot. Yeah, I remember at that time, V4 was swinging well, and the bananas, especially when the boat come and take the bananas.
V4 used to be
well.
V4 used to be
at the time.
Yeah.
And by the time when Kenny Anthony came into power in '97, Kenny killed V4.
And he especially killed a part of the town by the cemetery. When I saw...
But he killed everything in Vieux-Fort, you know, Josie.
Yeah, that Bridge Street area, which was our Bridge Street in Vieux-Fort, going across the mouth of the river. I was a little boy going across that bridge. It started as a wooden bridge called, and I'll tell you something. When I saw the man build a freeness, what we call a
laundry,
across where the bridge used to be, and I saw goats inside there one day. I went down there with Sir Michael. As my grandparents would say, ça c'était un couève chair. You know that phrase? A couève chair. Yeah, I never thought I would have seen that part of Vieux-Fort fall so low, man. The back of the area, man. Anyway, caller, you know, I get very emotional about these things. You know, that's one thing with me. I get very emotional about the politics and Vieux-Fort especially. But I remember then on Bridge Street, the Vieux-Fort people down there, he killed that part of Vieux-Fort completely.
He killed it completely. He's the one who killed Vieux-Fort.
Yeah, the town has moved off to the
airport. Swinging, my brother.
Yeah. But again,
I can tell, I'm not from Vieux-Fort, but I used to be in Vieux-Fort.
Again, I'm not surprised, caller. Again, I'm not surprised. I said so. It's not something I'm happy about because I still have my family and my friends at Vieux-Fort. So it's a very sad thing.
Yeah, because I myself, I have family in Vieux-Fort. I have good friends. I play football, and I have friends who play football together with me in the 70s.
I hope Hermangel Francis...
If I go, they still hail me, I hail them.
That's good, that's good.
So I go Vieux-Fort a little bit.
I hope Hermangel Francis is tightening his waist and putting on his fighting boots.
kill Vieux Fort.
Yeah.
I'm not putting water in my mouth to say it.
I agree, but I said,
I'm always saying.
I'm saying, caller, I hope Hermangill Francis is tightening his boots, summon up the sinews, you know, and let the blood start flowing as a fighter.
That is right.
I hope so.
That is right.
Anyway,
yeah, that's right.
guys.
Champagne, give me a little time. Give me a little minute, a minute.
Yes.
Yeah. Champagne.
Yeah.
No, my minister, I'm from Soufrière. My minister in Soufrière. Yeah. As I heard about this week, I heard that the road is start building from
Font Saint-Jacques. Yeah, to Diamond.
To Font Saint-Jacques.
Yeah.
That is something I'm always talking about, you know. And as I heard it, that's a good thing for him, you know, and the good thing for Soufrière people and the Font Saint-Jacques people also. So
yeah,
I give him the kudos for that. My minister, keep tight and keep doing the work he has been doing. And also, he has a project, the Palmis Road on the right-hand side when you go into the factory. I think he's organizing something there, like them little cottages like the one Frederick did. I think he's doing something like that.
And caller, let me ask you, has the mini stadium in Soufrière been opened officially?
No,
not officially. But
I saw some nice pictures, man. That's a nice place.
Oh, yeah. Caller, let me ask you before you leave. What do you think it's going to take Mr. Stanislas to influence the people of Barons Drive? Because you know that's a 95% Labour Party.
Let me say something to you. Let me say something to you, Champagne.
Yeah.
Champagne, the last election, I campaigned there. And I made him win that seat. But you know, in Quendelands,
he won in Quillas?
Yeah, he won in Quillas the last time.
Really?
Yeah, he won there the last time.
Oh boy, I didn't know that. I thought that we had lost
he won there the last time. Yeah, okay. Barons Drive.
Okay.
Champagne, let me tell you.
Okay.
It's difficult. Let me tell you, Champagne. It's difficult for them Quendelands people to change. It's difficult. And as Emma came back there, you know, I'm hearing that Emma, they're going to give Emma the vote. So it's difficult. I'm not too sure if he go in Quendelands, but he go in the election in Soufrière.
Well, that's without a doubt. But I don't understand why the people of Quendelands will continue to have that type of.
But you cannot leave that area to Emma, caller.
Champagne, can you call the gentleman?
That is true. That is true.
Yeah, we have to fight every corner, every street, every roadway, everywhere. We
have to fight to make sure that we win all the.
We have to block everywhere they have to pass. We have to block them. Don't let them pass.
I'm leaving Marisil. As I told you,
yeah.
As a minister,
Anyway, caller, we'll talk again. We're trying to fix something else to show some pictures, okay? Champagne, you ready?
When I talk to them, they're telling me that she has not done nothing for them in that area, especially Eastern area and those other.
Caller, let me say something before you hang up. Emma Hippolyte is not worthy of talking about anything in politics. Emma Hippolyte was in Grosley. She did nothing there. So I am not interested in talking about anything. Have a good day, my friend.
Okay, all right.
All right, beautiful.
All the best. Thank you. Bye.
All right, St. Lucia, we have some photos, and Sir Michael will narrate on that. He will tell you exactly what is happening. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, well, St. Lucia, if you can now look at the... let me say something to you. What you're looking at there now is the Hummingbird Beach, which is all completed, and a couple of friends of mine wanted to see it, so we took them down so they can have a good look at what is happening. This is the terminal and the market center in Soufrière, which I took last Sunday.
Bus terminal.
Yeah, the bus terminal and also the market, all combined. And then from there, yeah, this is again the beach park. We also visited the square. This is the square in Soufrière, which is very well kept and looks in pretty good condition to me. Yeah. Let me see what the other photos have to show. This is all the square. We also visited New Village. Is that called Champagne?
Yes.
New Village in Soufrière? Yeah. Okay. This was a Saltibus Road. Sorry, and this is the gentleman I spoke to who was making the jams and so forth. And these are the homes that have been built on the Saltibus Road and enhanced. It's a beautiful road, several miles, which has been unattended for something like 50 years. So that's what is going on in the south of the island, in the Choiseul area. And then from there we went and we had a look at the shopping center. No, sorry, this is New Village. Sorry, this is the shopping center in Choiseul, and also a nice supermarket next to it, and Westec was there. So that is something, a new concept for Choiseul completely. Yeah. This is also now the new road to Saltibus. This is the Saltibus Road, yeah, and which is very well done. So several miles of road, and it really has enhanced the area tremendously. This is back to the Choiseul Shopping Center, yeah, and that's the supermarket there, the Massey's supermarket. I think it's owned by Mr. Brian Dyer, the complex, but it's brought a lot of good things to Choiseul.
You know, this is what you do in terms of development. You have Choiseul for such a long time, you know.
We have some pictures of the St. Jude's Hospital, but I haven't seen it yet. I need my photographer to come in to highlight it.
Well, I am blocked off by 2 computers, so I haven't seen anything.
Shall I send it to you, Champagne?
No, well, he should have everything.
Yeah.
Okay. But I guess that's all he has. So we'll leave it as that. So, St. Lucia, what you just saw is Mr. Sir Michael's personal clippings of certain projects around the island. I don't think our camera people played everything that he has.
It didn't come up. We try and bring it in a little later on the other show, whereby the I happened to be at St. Jude Hospital on Saturday and Monday, and amazing what was done. Most of the ground floor is all cast now, and in the 2 days they put up about 58 panels, which is incredible, and has transformed that whole side.
I mean, so Michael, you look at a 4.5 years of a government in power, and you look at this huge hospital, you look at the OKU opening up. Had it not been for the opening of OKU, where would we be today with the coronavirus? No one saw the coronavirus coming. So that gave the Prime Minister an opportunity to have VH as a respiratory hospital. Look at how much of a great purpose it served. You have how many people in there? The Cubans came in to assist us, putting all of those different equipment into the respiratory hospital. Where would we be?
Let me tell you something. If this current wasn't in power, it would have been a disaster.
A disaster.
I told you.
Where would we be?
I told you 2 weeks ago we'd have had over 1,000 St. Lucians dead.
I believe that. Where would we be? We need to ring the bell for the Prime Minister, the Honorable Alan Shastri. We need to continue to ring the bell for this man's vision.
Exactly.
I mean, these guys gave a name. There was a naming ceremony to OKU, $100,000. Who spends the former government? Who spends $100,000 on a naming ceremony?
That's a bluff. This is
right there on the waterfront. I saw it.
This is the work of evil men, you know, Champagne. This is not politics. Only evil men would do that.
The laundry was not open, I don't think, or the cafeteria. It was not completed.
They didn't have that.
They
so
did not have the air conditioning, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
These are evil
the Honorable Alan Shastri and his government came in, finished those things, and opened the hospital before the virus. No one knew about the virus. That is vision. That is smart. That is someone that is intelligent. And we have to ring the bell for this one. And you're saying to me, some people will leave this thing behind and vote for these same failures?
It will not happen.
I mean, come on.
It won't happen, Champagne. It won't happen.
Come on.
Anyway, gentlemen, I think we had
I believe so. We still have the phones going up, but I know my 2 gentlemen have to leave. They have given me some more time than normal, so it is 12:33. So any last words, Sir Michael? I know you always down this out.
Well, what I would like to say is that I didn't read the last part of my preamble, so I'll take a couple seconds to do that now. To update the nation on the ongoing development, I have a number of photos taken at the weekend of the completed projects on island within the Sufa area. I witnessed the completion of a magnificent track and field facility, including the enhancement of the stadium. I revisited the Hummingbird Beach facility, the new market and terminal complex, the Sufa Square, but more importantly, the tremendous 1.5 mile roadway servicing new development in the heart of Sufa. I drove along the long-awaited Saltibus Road reconstruction, which was a sight to behold after 50 years of neglect. I spoke to a couple of residents, indicated that they would have never imagined a facility of this nature could be completed in their lifetime. A little further down the road, I visited the new shopping complex, which now houses an up-to-date supermarket, a West Tech facility, and a lovely structure permitting the Chazelle folks to display their arts and crafts, which they are so well known for. My final stop was at the St. Jude Hospital, where construction works continued at a steady pace, and between Saturday and Tuesday, close to 70 panels were erected. The internal walls for the various departments progressed nicely, while some 75 persons involved within that task remained focused on completing the job. The plumbing and electrical contractors were on standby, ready to play their part, which is likely to commence within 10 to 15 days.
Wow, beautiful.
So that's about it, St. Lucia, for now. And till next Wednesday, we're now signing off. And thank you so much for your contribution.
Yeah, you're welcome. Any last words, Mr. P?
Yeah, I just want to say, Champagne, I think we had another good day of discussion. But I thank God every day for having me live to see 42 years of St. Lucia independence.
Yeah.
I was all in on the politics at that time, and I'm very proud of the effort I made to get St. Lucians to think differently as an independent nation. I'm sure there were missteps. I probably teased some people too much and came too hard at some people, but that was part of the political journey. And so I am very proud of what we have achieved since independence. I'm particularly happy with the schools that were built, because I think the future is the training of our people, disciplining them and training them in all kinds of arts and crafts and professions. So I just want to say also to the committee that put together this independence celebration, that planned everything, I thought it was under the chairperson of the President of the Senate.
Yeah.
And I think it was a job well done. So I congratulate all those involved, including the government of St. Lucia. And as I said, I am very happy that God has blessed me to have seen the 42nd anniversary. And I always pray for life and give thanks for life, because without life, there's nothing we can achieve.
Yeah,
you have to be alive and to be in good health to do the things that you want to do. So I will continue doing my part as best as I can.
Yeah.
Keep writing, keep reading, keep coming here on every Wednesday to share my views.
Yes, sir.
And finally, Champagne, I want to thank the callers who feel that I should be the next Governor General.
I started it.
At first I was papi showing it and poo-pooing and say, guys, leave me alone, I'm happy where I am. But I don't know if they're inspired by the great Jehovah God I am.
That's right.
I don't know, but I don't want to bring any curse into my life. So I have to thank them, because I think what they're saying is going to be an honor to anybody to get that position.
Indeed.
So if they want to honor me, who am I to say
to deny
that
or to refuse?
I am not?
Did you ever get to meet the Queen of England during the 79 era? The Queen
I met Her Majesty the Queen at the conference of the Commonwealth, which I attended in Melbourne, Australia.
Yeah.
And there are pictures of that. I met her at a dinner which the government of England, gave for us.
Yeah.
That is the team from both opposition and parliamentarians.
Okay.
In London when we were there at Marlborough House.
All right.
Yeah, so I've
get
had the honor of being with the Queen at least twice, and you know, in both times, both occasions, she had a little chat with me personally.
Okay.
You know, am I joined the conference or whatever, you know, I was
that must have been an honor.
Really. Oh yeah, and in those days, if we had cell phone, I would have had pictures of the cell phone.
Definitely. definitely.
But Champagne, I've been very blessed.
I know.
When I look at it, I've been very blessed. I was the first of my mother's children to go, my grandparents' children to go to a secondary school, to go to university, So that alone tells you a story, right?
Yeah. Now, I hope our listeners out there, because you know how they spin a lot of things in St. Lucia, are not thinking that we're pushing out our current Governor General. And we are not doing that at all. We admire
I think
our
it's just a
current
way of thanking and praising me. That's what I say.
Yes, no.
Because, by the way, the present Governor General
exactly.
and I are fairly tight together.
No, I wasn't saying about you. I was saying me here and the callers.
Yeah.
That we admire our Governor General. The man is brilliant. He's a well-spoken individual. So I'm saying...
And I think he's too smart to take this as any...
No, he's not even going to be bothered with that. I'm talking about the haters out there. These are the ones that always spin stuff. That's who I'm talking about, not the Governor General. Okay. The Governor General is above that kind of level. Yeah. So our haters out there. Well, let me congratulate you firstly as the next Governor General of St. Lucia whenever that time comes.
Yeah. And I'm also happy I did that program with Rick, and Rick finally said something. I hope he also writes about it,
Yeah.
Because I got a lot of blows from Rick on his pen.
Yeah.
Because that was the politics. Rick supported Julian Hunt and supported Hunt. And that was the only guy he never criticized, But, time has passed. And I am going to clear up some of the things because I must.
Yes.
It must. And Rick is right because nobody ever questioned what he wrote in his books.
Yeah.
I never questioned anything because I postponed it for a time when it would be convenient for me, writing my own life story to say what happened and what did not happen. For example, you see the caller who just called about Radio St. Lucia?
Yeah.
Again, I was nowhere around Champagne.
Yes,
but you see,
there's a lot of misconception about
you. Once they had painted me as the radical, the revolutionary, the communist,
that was painted.
So it's almost like what they have done to Guy Joseph today.
Yeah, exactly.
So I was the Guy Joseph.
Same thing at that time. All right, thanks a lot, my friend. You have a good afternoon. And St. Lucia, we want to say thank you very much for tuning in again. I wish, and all of the calls that kept coming in after the, when we had cut off the phone-in period, we want to apologize for you not being there, for us not being able to hear you. And, one of these days we will just have a call-in program with myself and the two honorable statesmen, Sir Michael Shasti and Mr. Peter Josie. And we will put it together where you could call in for 3 hours. We will not be discussing anything else but just your calls. I think you, the people, you're deserving of this because we know that you'd like to ask a lot of questions to our two honorable statesmen. So once again, my apologies on not being able to take all of the calls. But my two guys have to leave, and they have given us all the time. All right, so let me once again say thank you very much. St. Lucia, searching for the best in household cleaning supplies. Well, sir.
My mother sent us back. It was out of his breakfast to give us something. Still with it.
Things were very difficult with my parents, and my mother opened a small bakery in the Castries area.
Because my father do everything he could do for me, not for himself, for me, personal. And from there, when I see my from there yesterday, and I just remember my mother and my father every day, how they take it so hard to bring us up. And I seen from today there, I have two disabled children from mother. The mother asks for freedom, and they don't want that freedom,